The Leadoff Man is brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs, Nissan and your Nissan dealer, and by Culver's Frozen Custard and Butterburger restaurants.
We are live from Wrigley Field on another mild and breezy afternoon. You get a shot of Murphy's at the corner of Waveland and Sheffield. Couple of Arizona home runs yesterday. The Cubs will try to keep them in the park today. And a big weekend of baseball here on WGN. We'll have the final 3 games of this series against the Diamondbacks, an encore presentation of this old Cub, and reports from Cooperstown as Rhino goes into the Hall of Fame. And great to have you with us today. I'm Len Casper. Bob Brenly will join me a little bit later on. The final score yesterday, Diamondbacks 6 and the Cubs nothing. The Cubs admitted their bats were a little bit tired. Remember, they had a short night's rest a couple of nights ago, and usually it's that second day after when you start feeling those effects. They'll try to get back at it offensively today. And a very good pitching matchup. Javier Vasquez for the Diamondbacks and Mark Pryor for the Cubs. And some news for the Cubs. Great to see Nomar Garciaparra back here in Chicago. A couple of rehab outings with Class A Peoria, so he's chatting with team officials about the next step as he makes his return here very soon. We'll hear from Nomar coming up.
It's an action-packed weekend on Superstation WGN with big league baseball games, comedies that'll get you pumped up, and movies that'll make you fly high. It's 2 full days of exciting action all weekend long. The fun is right here on America's Superstation. Superstation WGN, brought to you in part by the makers of Lotrimin Ultra, the latest cure for athlete's foot.
The extra mile? Sure, it's a state of mind. But with our minds guiding us, why not go further? Why not design a mid-size sedan with a 235 horsepower V6 and lead the class in standard safety features? That way, when others mention an extra mile, we'll ask, why stop at just one? The all-new 2006 Sonata, a Hyundai like you've never seen before.
Come on in.
Come in and dine on our specialty line.
Ooh, ooh, something new. Bacon, cheddar, and barbecue. Ooh, upscale recipes. Burger sandwiches, natural cheese.
Natural cheddar.
What could be better?
Natural blue.
Did I say new? Innovations, variations, specialties, our new sensation.
Ooh, Swiss cheese, shoulder please.
Culver's, taste how much we care.
Would you rather have the Kia Spectra's 6 standard airbags or the Corolla's 2? Would you rather have Spectra's 138 horsepower or Civic's 115? Would you rather have Spectra's 10-year warranty, which is almost twice as long as theirs? And would you rather have all this for under $12,000 after $1,750 cash back? Would you rather not hear any more ridiculously easy questions? The Kia Spectra. And for another easy answer, check out the sport-tuned Kia Spectra 5. Right now, get a Spectra LX for under $12,000. Hurry into your local Kia retailer.
Well, the Diamondbacks are 4 games under 500 right now, just 2 out in the West. The Cubs come in 2 over 500 and 3 back in the wild card race. So we're getting set for game 2 of this 4-game series here this afternoon. But off-field news, good to see Nomar back on the field. A couple of games with Class A Peoria this week. One was rained out, so he would have played 3, instead played 2. Back with the team today, and right now they're trying to figure out where he's going to go next. Might be AA West 10. We're not exactly sure when he'll be back, but he was asked earlier today if he could put a percentage on how he's feeling health-wise.
I'm not a big percentage guy, so I can't give you a percentage about where I am health-wise. But where I am is, it was a good couple days down there in Peoria. It was, I think, just to get, once again, to get into that the baseball atmosphere, to get into a game situation from one day to the next. I felt better. I felt better the second day as far as moving out there, moving around. Just getting my, as far as getting at bat, seeing some pitches, getting my timing down, that's all work in progress as well. They asked me a question when I was down there in Peoria. They go, well, when would you like to be back? I said, yesterday. I mean, that's what I'd like to be back. Do I have, unfortunately right now, I have no answer for you guys as far as what's the next step, what we're going to do, because I haven't sat down and discussed that with Dusty or Jim Henry or anybody yet. I know that all we had said before that, I'd go to Peoria, I'd be back here today, I was going to work out, and, we'd sit down and talk as a group, as we always have. I mean, that's one great thing is, I think, from the organization to myself, we've been on the same page from the get-go as far as, okay, what's the next step, what are we going to do? And we plan on doing that today to say, okay, what is going to be the next step? What is going to be that next hurdle? And go from there. And I'll probably, we'll have more answers for you guys a little later, but unfortunately right now, we haven't had that meeting, we haven't sat down, so I have nothing to tell you as that simple. Tweaks or anything? That I'm sure there's, along, even throughout my rehab, when I was down in Arizona exercising, getting back, there were tweaks and there were things that you felt that you're going to ooh and all, but a lot of times I'd ooh, and then all of a sudden I'd go, I felt not, but didn't feel too bad. I'm looking forward to just coming back and being around these guys. I mean, I miss these guys so much. They're great people, they're playing great, and I just want to be a part of it, whatever capacity that's asked of me.
Well, you always have to be careful after suffering a groin injury like Nomar suffered, but it's been over 3 months since the injury, and again, hopefully he'll be back in the Cubs lineup very soon. When we come back, we'll talk about today's starting pitchers. Mark Pryor facing the Diamondbacks for the first time in his career. More to come from Wrigley.
Why go so far as to equip a sedan with a smoother riding double wishbone front suspension, 235 horsepower V6, and electronic stability control? Because instead of cutting corners, we'd rather take them. The all-new highly agile 2006 Sonata, a Hyundai like you've never seen before.
I hear that you guarantee all your work. Is that true?
Yes.
Can you have our van ready in time for the canoe trip this afternoon?
Absolutely.
Are your 3,000 certified mechanics guided by the ideals of the young voyagers? He's one of us!
Come to the best. Midas, America's leader in brakes. Pads or shoes for $39.95 plus installation. We always provide an estimate for installation and fully explain any additional work. For mechanics known for their work and their word.
Trust the Midas touch.
They are the captains of cavity prevention, the heroes of healthy smiles, armed to the teeth with more high-tech tools than ever before. The dental experts at Oral-B, creating the one brand of toothbrush that's as innovative as they are. The one brand that's leading the way to a future of dental dreams come true. Now, is it any wonder, when asked what brand of toothbrush they use themselves, more dentists open up wide and say, Oral-B. Brush like a dentist.
Series at Wrigley against the Arizona Diamondbacks today at 2 on Superstation WGN.
Welcome back to the leadoff man. Our Culvers this day in Cubs history takes us back to 1988. Rick Sutcliffe became the first Cubs pitcher since Hippo Vaughn in 1919 to steal home. Sut and the Cubs beat the Phils 8-3 July 29, 1988. Thank you, Culvers. Mark Pryor, 2-0 with a 2.61 ERA over his last 3 starts, 4-1 with a 1.89 in 8 home outings. Javier Vasquez, the opening day starter for the Diamondbacks. Cubs roughed him up on opening day, 7 runs in an inning and 2/3. He has been better ERA-wise on the road than at home. He's also been better in the daytime than under the lights. So that sets the table for an afternoon of Cubs baseball. The Cubs hosting the Diamondbacks, and we'll have Game 2 of this series coming up next.
The leadoff man has been brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs, Nissan and your Nissan dealer, and by Culver's Frozen Custard and Butterburger Restaurants.
Think about the mountains you want to climb in the BMW X5, the corners you want to take, the hairpin turns you plan to find. Because it would be very un-BMW-like to have you thinking about brake pads, rotors, and oil changes. The BMW X5, the only SAV in its class with a standard full maintenance program. Lease a BMW X5 3.0 for $429 a month until July 31st.
Well, it's been a long day for Strahan. What a lovely shot!
Yeah! Who's the man?
Hey, Strahan, maybe it's your deodorant. Let's start over. No, not that one. This time start with Right Guard Gel. It's the strongest gel. Keeps you drier than even the leading stick, so it lasts till the end of the day.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Yes. Right Guard. Start right, end right.
Hey, Cubs fans, keep your eye on the ball. Every time a Cubs player hits a homer at Wrigley, you could be a winner. It's the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly home run contest. After every Cubs homer, write down the distance along with your name and address and send it to WGN TV. 10 winners will receive 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. For every Cubs homer, ask yourself, how far did it fly? From Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the Chicago Cubs.
At Hyundai, we believe for all the ways we can help you survive an accident, we should provide just as many to help you avoid one. The all-new 2006 Sonata, the only midsize sedan with electronic stability control and 6 airbags standard. It's a Hyundai like you've never seen before.
This is Superstation WGN, where it's movie night every night. The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
Another nice day for baseball here in Chicago. The wind is blowing in from center field today. Might be a pitcher's afternoon. Good matchup, Vasquez and Pryor. And we're live at Wrigley for Cubs baseball today here on WGN Sports. It's game 2 of a 4-game series today against Arizona. The D-backs won game 1, 6-0 yesterday. Great to have you with us, Bob Brenly and Len Casper with you. The Cubs are 2-2 on this homestand, 3 left in this series in homestand, and then a big road trip coming up to Philadelphia and New York. Since July 8th, the Cubs offense really turned things around, but the last 4 days here at home, the offense has struggled to score a lot of runs.
Well, and as we know, the Cubs score a lot of the runs via the home run. They've only hit 2 home runs during this homestand. The wind has been blowing in for the most part. You see the numbers during the course of this homestand, averaging just 2.25 runs per game after averaging over 6 runs a game in the previous 2 weeks.
So the Cubs today will try to get to Javier Vasquez. Mark Pryor pitching for the Cubs, and this should be a very good matchup on the hill. Really should be a good matchup. Pryor pitched well last time against St. Louis. Other than the first inning, gave up the 3 solo homers in the first, only 1 in the next 5 innings. Vasquez, on the other hand, a guy that just does nothing but throw strikes. 140 innings pitched. He's only walked 24 batters. His MO is very simple. Get ahead of the hitters, work the corners of the strike zone. I talked with Gene Kleins, the Cubs hitting coach, before the game, and I said, do you watch video of that opening day game and when the Cubs scored 7 runs, or do you watch video of him lately? He said, that was almost like spring training because it was so long ago. It was so long ago, and not only Javier Vasquez, but a lot of the Cubs hitters weren't the same then as they are now, so you always get much more value of seeing what a guy has done recently. Aramis Ramirez not in the lineup. The quad still tweaked a bit. It hasn't gotten a lot better. And Dusty Baker said his bat has been a little bit slow. And the Cubs did look a little bit sluggish at the plate yesterday. I think as a team, the entire ball club, and you mentioned it, usually it's 2 days after the short night. So it's not totally surprising. And you really have to tip your cap to Brad Halsey. He pitched a great ball game, was very aggressive in the strike zone, got ahead of the Cubs. They were a little impatient yesterday, which is something we haven't seen lately. All right, we're getting set for the first pitch. But now our national anthem from Wrigley.
You remove your caps and join along with me, Chicago Cubs public address announcer Wayne Messmer, accompanied by Gary Pressey at the Wrigley Field, Lowry, Oregon, in a singing and playing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Chicago Cubs baseball, brought to you by Budweiser, bright, crisp, clean, pure, the king of beers. The Illinois Lottery. No matter how you play the Illinois Lottery. Have a ball. Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and the Chicago Cubs. Comcast. Catch the Cubs home games on WGN and HDTV on Comcast. Call for a great offer. And by Southwest Airlines, non-stop service to 59 destinations all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom.
He's just not getting out of the way for anybody. And he's just always like ice. 1 week you're the hero, 1 week you're the heel.
Just to hit him once, that's bad enough, but hit twice.
Sometimes it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
That's far, Paul. That's far. Spelled out.
It's going to be a fight all the way to the end.
Once the green flag drops, every man for himself.
This is racing. Anything can happen.
Hi. Let's do this. Okay. Hi. I wanted to be the first one to welcome you to the neighborhood.
Do you want to come in?
Yeah.
Our exclusive Beechwood aging produces a taste, a smoothness, and a drinkability you'll find in no other beer.
Concerned about bad breath? Listerine Pocket Packs dissolve in seconds, killing bad breath germs to freshen your breath instantly. Listerine Pocket Pack strips. Now try less intense fresh citrus.
I detail all these cars for a living. When they first gave me the product, I wasn't sure what it was. It didn't have a label on it. I get asked probably 10 or 15 times a week what wax I use. Now I tell them Turtle Wax. The shine is just awesome.
Turtle Wax Platinum Series Car Wax, the new standard in shine.
So, what do you think?
In the time it takes to take out the trash, you could save hundreds on car insurance. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Let's get campy!
New clothes are fun.
But they won't save you money on car insurance.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Why haven't you called Geico?
Back here at Wrigley Field, game 2 of this series. And game 5 of this homestand. The Cubs are 2-2 on the homestand. Let's check out the updated wild card standings. The Houston Astros, winners of 5 in a row and 9 of 10, have caught the Washington Nationals. Florida 2.5 back along with Philadelphia. And then the Cubs and the Mets are 3 out. And of course the Cubs will play the Phillies and the Mets coming up on the next road trip after an off day Monday. The Cubs' first off day of the second half. Well, today's game being presented in high definition and Dolby Digital 5.1 audio where available. Mark Pryor getting set to face the Arizona Diamondbacks, believe it or not, for the first time in his career. And here's Bob Melvin's starting lineup. Counsell, Tracy, Gonzalez, all left-handed hitters at the top of the order. Gloss, Clark, Green, Sean Green with his second straight start out in center field. Diamondbacks making some changes recently. Clayton, Snyder, Vasquez rounded out.
And here's how the Cubs take the field defensively. Brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of MLB and the Cubs. Matt Merton getting a rare start in left field against a right-handed pitcher. Jerry Hairston Jr. in center. Jeremy Burnett's over in right field. His usual stellar defense throughout this homestand. Jose Macias filling in for Aramis at third base. Nafi Perez is short. Walker and Lee manning the right side of the infield. Henry Blanco once again behind the plate for right-hander Mark Pryor. Mentioned Pryor's last outing against the Cardinals in St. Louis. Gave up 3 solo home runs in the first inning among 4 hits, and then surrendered only 1 base hit in his next 5 innings of work, and that was an infield hit when Mark was a little slow getting over to cover first base. See his numbers on the season.
Umpires today, Mike Everett back at the plate. Dowdy, Timmons, and Merriweather. Chuck Merriweather, the crew chief, around the bases. And we're set. Pryor against Counsell to start it today. The Diamondbacks again are 4 under the break-even mark, but just 2 out in the National League West. And the first pitch is outside, ball 1. 75 degrees here at game time. Counsell pops it up, but back out of play.
Pryor with quite a difference, especially in the ERA at home as opposed to on the road.
Hit hard and past Lee, so Counsell will have extra bases. Ball kind of died in the grass and foul ground. I don't think Burnitz would have had to play anyway. And it's a leadoff double for Craig Counsell, who came in 3 for his last 23.
Counsell got a pitch up in the zone. You saw Henry sliding in underneath the hands of Craig Counsell. The pitch straight up and out over the plate. Counsell's not a guy that pulls the ball very often, but he gets this one by Derek Lee down into that right field corner.
Well, the last start for Mark Pryor gave up 3 solo home runs in the first inning at St. Louis Sunday. No runs after that. Really settled in after that first inning. Chad Tracy takes it outside. He struck out 2. Mark Pryor has had 2 starts in his career in which he struck out 1. But that was a short outing against the Cardinals last year in June, 3 2/3. And a 1 strikeout performance on July 15th against Milwaukee in an inning and 2/3. So it's rare to see Mark Pryor strike out just 1 or 2 hitters. Chad Tracy with his first career start in right field yesterday, so he's out there again today. We talked about it yesterday. Jose Cruz Jr. was in center field, designated for assignment. So Sean Green has moved from right to center. Chad Tracy from first to right. Well, they scored 6 runs yesterday, but the Diamondbacks left 15. They probably could have gone into double digits if they had gotten a couple of big hits with men in scoring position. And Bob, you give Jerome Williams a ton of credit. 5 1/3. He was in trouble all day, but he gave up only 1 run.
He really battled. I mean, it seemed like every inning he looked up and there were runners on second, third, bases loaded, and he made the big pitches when he had to. Wasn't easy, but he got the job done.
Outside edge for a strike. 95 on the gun.
And you see Pryor just pounding that outside corner, outside part of the plate, trying to get Tracy, if he does put the ball in play, to hit it to the left side of the infield, keep Counsell at second base. Diamondbacks are a team that likes to score early. They've scored 75 runs in the first inning of their games this year, by far their highest scoring inning.
2-2 popped up by Tracy, left side, and it's Perez to make the catch.
Boy, nice job right there by Henry Blanco and Mark Pryor, forcing Tracy to reach out there and flip that ball in the air to the left side of the infield. Tracy had one job right there, to pull the ball to the right side of the infield, something he's very capable of doing, but when you consistently make good quality pitches on the outside corner, this is all a hitter can do with that pitch. From our Southwest Plain View camera, you can see that ball was right on the outside corner, and Tracy hits a harmless pop up to the left side.
So with one out, it's former Cub Luis Gonzalez, who was hitting 188 in the month of July going into this series, but he had a big day yesterday, 3 for 5, including a 2-run homer.
That's as close a thing to a gimme strike as there is against Luis Gonzalez. I don't recall him ever swinging at the first pitch he sees in a ball game. He usually takes at least one pitch in that first at bat of the game just to get his bearings, see where that pitcher's arm slot is, get a good look at the background, and then he goes to work. So Mark Pryor pumps that first one right down the middle of the plate.
Well, the Diamondbacks facing Pryor for the first time. Tomorrow they'll see Rich Hill, the left-hander, for the first time. And then history coming up. Sunday and Tuesday, they'll have an off day Monday, but they'll face back-to-back 300-game winners. Greg Maddux and then Roger Clemens. That's very rare. Fouled away. It'll be the first time a team has faced 300-game winners in back-to-back games since the '87 Texas Rangers, who faced Steve Carlton and Phil Niekro in back-to-back games. One and two on Gonzalez. Pryor with a quick check on Counsell. Now the pitch. This one lofted to center field for Jerry Hairston. Well, you can see what the wind is doing, because Hairston, when that ball was hit, didn't really move a whole lot and then had to eventually drift in. Anything popped straight up around the plate should push foul behind the backstop today.
And anything hit down either line should probably get pushed further toward the line. The wind blowing straight in from center field. Hairston is underneath it, then has to come sprinting in a few steps and then a couple more steps just to get underneath that pop-up. We mentioned Pryor's never faced the Diamondbacks before. And as you might expect, only a very limited history for these hitters on the Diamondbacks club. Sean Green has seen Mark Pryor 11 times. Of course, that was probably when Sean Green was with the Dodgers. Royce Clayton with 10 at-bats against Mark Pryor, probably when he was with the Rockies. So very, very limited looks other than that.
And Sean Green 6 for 11 against Pryor. Green had a big day yesterday, 4 for 4. The 0-1 to Gloss. In there for a strike. Nothing in 2. Talked about Nomar rehabbing after the groin surgery. Hopefully we'll be back soon. Kerry Wood threw off the mound again today, and Cubs now will determine what his next step is. Swing and a miss. Gloss, his next step will be toward the third base position. He'll play some defense. Cubs coming up.
Can't we stay another day?
Sure.
Florida. Easy to get to, hard to leave. Go to Southwest.com for Southwest Airlines $59 internet specials from Chicago Midway to Florida. Purchased by August 4th. Only at Southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
Would you rather have the Kia Spectra's 6 standard airbags or the Corolla's 2? Would you rather have Spectra's 138 horsepower or Civic's 115? Would you rather have Spectra's 10-year warranty, which is almost twice as long as theirs? And would you rather have all this for under $12,000 after $1,750 cash back? Would you rather not hear any more ridiculously easy questions? The Kia Spectra. And for another easy answer, check out the sport-tuned Kia Spectra 5. Right now, get a Spectra LX for under $12,000. Hurry into your local Kia retailer.
You know what really fries me? The way so many fast food places mess with chicken by deep frying it and slathering it in batter. That's why I love Subway restaurants. Imagine, prepared fresh with your choice of fresh veggies and toppings on freshly baked bread. Now that's how chicken should be. Subway, eat fresh.
There it is, the one from Cars.com.
So do you take them everywhere?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I hired them for the day. Big moment, you know?
Find the right car for you. Cars.com.
Now a look at Dusty Baker's Cubs lineup, brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of MLB and the Cubs. Good career numbers for Derek Lee against Javier Vasquez. Matt Merton getting the start in left. Todd Hollinsworth has been scuffling. Blanco and Pryor make up the battery today. We mentioned Ramirez out of the lineup. Jose Macias getting the start at third.
Take a look at the Diamondbacks defensively. Gonzalez Green making the move to center field to make room for Chad Tracy, who moved to right field to make room for Tony Clark at first. Counsell at second. Clayton at short. Gloss at third. The youngster Chris Snyder once again behind the plate today for Javier Vasquez. Vasquez pitched opening day down in Arizona, gave up 10 hits, 7 singles and 3 doubles in an inning and 2/3. 7 earned runs, was chased out of the ball game. Diamondbacks were concerned he was tipping his pitches. I think more than anything else, he was just making a lot of bad pitches opening day, right down the heart of the plate.
1 ball, no strikes on Jerry Hairston. 3 for 9 on the homestand, and he fouls one away. Vasquez on the road, a 3.59 ERA, 5.34 at home. In the daytime, 3.38 at night, 4.70. So if you look at those splits, this is where he wants to be, on the road and pitching under the sun. Outside edge for a strike on Hairston.
And you'll see Vasquez throw a 2-seam sinking fastball. He'll also cut his fastball away from the right-handers into the left-handers. Has a real good curveball that he'll use at any time, and also a very good straight changeup.
1-2 pitch, and Hairston stays alive.
You know, at times this season, Vasquez has really relied a lot on that cut fastball. You look at the numbers, right-handers have hit 280 against him, lefties 247. Consequently, Dusty Baker with a couple of right-handed hitters in the lineup that don't normally start against right-handed pitching, but hopefully that'll take that cutter away a little bit.
They're foul. Nathy Perez on deck. The Cubs an 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position yesterday. 7 left on base. Leadoff man reached 4 times. Wine and another 1-2. High pop fly left center field. Clayton, Gonzalez getting together, and Gonzo calls him off. So with 1 out, Nathy Perez will walk up to the plate.
Obviously a much easier play for Luis Gonzalez, even though he's got a long way to run on this ball. Clayton going back, looking back up into the sun. Gonzalez has a little bit better angle to keep that ball out of the sun and make that running catch.
Bunted foul by Perez. Gloss was charging when he showed bunt, and looked like Nathy was just trying to poke it past the third baseman.
That's a play you see very rarely in the game nowadays. It used to be there was a player or two on every team who was adept at that running slash bunt, draw the corner infielder in and then hit it past him. That time Nathy just slapped it foul.
Rips this one foul. We talked about the struggles offensively on this homestand. The Cubs averaging 2.3 runs per game, just 2 home runs. And a team that relies pretty heavily on home runs. The previous 14 games, starting with July 8th and ending with Sunday night, Cubs have scored 90 runs. That's 6.4 per game. 27 home runs. That says a lot about this offense. On the ground, Counsell over to Clark, and they just get the hustling Perez. Derek Lee, 4 for 16 on this homestand. And they used the word, they said, just dragging a little bit, the Cubs offense yesterday. Trying to get some runs here today. And for Derek, even though he's 4 for 16 on this homestand in the Triple Crown categories, he's in pretty good shape. Leading in average, tied for first in home runs, 2 RBIs from the lead in that category. That's a strike on Lee. 343 with 3 home runs against Vasquez in his career. 0-2 pitch. That missed. 1-2. I thought that was a very interesting note from Gene Kleins about Vasquez. On opening day, the Cubs really knocked him around, but he's just better now. Line over. Clayton. Counsell was to the left of second base as well. You can put the shift on, but if you hit it over the infield, it doesn't matter.
Hanging breaking ball right here. That's a curveball that's supposed to get down and away. Just kind of hangs up over the plate for Derek Lee. Good quick swing through the ball. Just over Royce Clayton at shortstop into left field.
A 2-out base runner for Jeremy Burnett's batting cleanup. 2 RBIs on the homestand, both walk-off game winners.
And Bernie's had big success against Javier Vasquez in his career. A .310 lifetime batting average with 5 home runs and 42 at bats.
Got his first career pie in the face the other day from Ryan Dempster. Inside. And Jeremy actually said that he enjoyed it.
That means you've done something good.
Yeah.
You know, put a pie in your face when you go 0 for 5 with 4 punch outs and hit into a double play.
Well, they could, but that wouldn't be very nice. Now, you know, it looks like a pie, but it's really shaving cream. And I know that the one complaint some guys occasionally have is that it can burn in your eyes. It's stuck in your nostrils for a couple of days. But Ryan Dempster joked that he likes to practice on himself in the mirror.
That doesn't surprise me.
A pitch, a strike, 3-1. Vasquez has made 21 starts. He's received less than 2 runs in support 10 times. Tied for the second most in the National League. Lee running, and it's fouled back.
Well, good pitch to hit for Jeremy Burnett, so he lets that bat go. It's unfortunate, however, because Derek Lee had a monster jump over there at first base. He was going to steal that bag easily. Good pitch for Bernie to take a rip at, though. Fastball outer third of the plate where he could really get those hands extended. He just was a little bit under it.
Lee on the move on a 3-2. That one fouled back. Let me ask you, as a former catcher, does Chris Snyder have to think about Jeremy Burnett and the long backswing as far as where he positions himself? I mean, Jeremy really carries that bat around. It looks like he's very close to just kind of hitting him, but you can see there's a lot of room there.
Well, he'll learn the hard way. I mean, you get whacked on the side of the helmet a couple of times, and you know which hitters you have to sit a little further back on. Sometimes from watching videotape, you can take the appropriate precautions and stay a little further back in the box. A big high finish with a flourish, and then comes around with that right hand extended through. You can see Snyder is just out of range back there. What that will do also, though, it forces the catcher to sit a little bit deeper than you would like. You're receiving pitches that look low when in reality they cross the plate at the knees. That's not supposed to affect the umpire, but you can see that umpire is sitting a good 8 or 10 feet behind home plate right now.
He's on the move again, and another foul. And of course, if Jeremy hits him on the backswing on a ball that, and that's not catcher's interference, it's on the swing itself. If you hit a guy's mitt, that's catcher's interference.
We'll take another look there. You see how deep Snyder is in that catcher's box, and the umpire Mike Everett is even back further.
Inside, good at bat. Single and a walk here with 2 outs. And Todd Walker batting 5th today. I mentioned Ramirez out of the lineup. Ramos got the start yesterday, but tweaked his quad the day before. Hasn't gotten any better. And Dusty just wanted to give him a day off. Outside corner for a strike. The other thing Dusty said was with All-Stars, he likes to give those guys a day off shortly after the break. But he said Ramirez was so hot, I couldn't take him out of the lineup. Of course, it's never easy to take Derek Lee out of the lineup, but Derek missed a few starts right before the break with the left shoulder irritation.
Well, looking forward to the off day on Monday. You would expect that perhaps a couple of the guys that have been playing every day might get Sunday or Tuesday off as well, to make it back-to-back off days with the scheduled off day on Monday. That's usually what managers will try to do, is pick those spots where you can take advantage of an off day in the schedule, give them the day before or day after off as well.
1-1 on Walker, has been batting second pretty much exclusively lately. Nathy batting second today. Walker where Ramirez normally would be against a right-hander. Jose Macias starting at third today. 2-1. And notice who's batting 6th today. Guy who hit 8th yesterday, Matt Merton.
Now we speculated that if he continued to swing the bat and put together quality ABs the way he had, that he might start sneaking up that batting order.
And in the lineup against a right-hander. Toward right, and Counsell cuts it off, gets it to Clark, inning over. Cubs strand 2. Now the other day, the pie in the face. Will it happen today? We'll find out. No score.
Are you
Miranda, Carrie, Charlotte,
Samantha? Ever feel
hot?
Do you have
The ego of a man trapped in the body of a woman.
Then you're a Samantha.
I have a sexy young man, and I'm fabulous. Woo!
Meet the girls. Sex in the City, 7 nights a week. This fall on Superstation WGN.
Too bad she dumped it. She didn't dump me. We're just taking a break. Right. I can't believe you locked this thing. Sweet. Let's roll. Wait. What? Ooh. Not cool.
How about a deal? Thanks.
The new 12-ounce plastic bottle 8-pack from Pepsi, perfectly portable, fridge-friendly, car cup size convenience. Now that's refreshing.
Cholesterol comes from 2 sources. It's not only from that foot-long Frank, but from your Grandpa Frank. And not just from that Virginia ham, but from your Aunt Ginny, too. Your cholesterol doesn't just come from food. It also has a lot to do with family history. Ask your doctor about Vytorin. A healthy diet is important, but when it's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Vytorin treats the two sources of cholesterol, food and what your body makes naturally based on family history. Vytorin was proven in clinical studies to lower bad cholesterol more than Lipitor alone. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Vytorin may interact with other medicines or certain foods, increasing your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Follow a healthy diet and ask your doctor about adding Vytorin. For the two sources of cholesterol, remember the name Vytorin. That's Vytorin.
From Denmark. And the woman on the right wants the ball, and the woman on the left wants the beverage.
Well, the woman on the left might just hang around Chicago for a while.
Tony Clark, 2 for 5 yesterday, leading off the second against Mark Pryor. No score. And after a curveball, terrific numbers for Tony Clark. Connor Jackson just brought up, made his major league debut in a pinch hitting appearance yesterday. He's a right-handed hitter. Might get his first major league start tomorrow. It's a lefty, Rich Hill, called strike 3. Well, let's check out the Sharp Aquos high definition booth replay monitor, and what a catch by Jody Garrett yesterday. Monitor available at Apt Electronics, so drop by Apt and check it out. Check this out.
Horizontal to the ground, coming straight in. That's one of the toughest catches for an outfielder. That ball coming straight in, making a catch with the dive. Very nice.
Sean Green with his first start in center field yesterday since 1998. And the Cubs did not retire him all day. Had 4 hits, including a triple. He walked, scored a run, caught stealing early in the game, and you mentioned the 11 at bats against Mark Pryor. 6 hits, including a home run.
And he spread his hits all over Wrigley Field yesterday. The first one was through the hole at third and short, then up the middle, then through the hole at first and second, then down the right field line. If you can get Sean Green in a pull mode where he's trying to jerk everything to right field with that uppercut swing, you can retire him fairly easily. But when he's staying on the ball and driving it where it's pitched, he's one of the best hitters in the game.
Last 3 starts for Pryor, 2-0 with a .261 earned run average. Here's the pitch, and Green went around. 2 strikeouts for Pryor in his last start in 6 innings. He has 3 already in the first couple of innings.
A good, sharp, tight breaking ball starts over the heart of the plate, almost ends up at Sean Green's back foot. He cannot hold up. You'll see that bat clearly gets way out in front of home plate. Quick tag by Henry Blanco, and Pryor has his 3rd strikeout in a row.
Bryce Clayton did not start yesterday. Alex Centrone got the nod. Clayton was hitting .242 on July 10th, since hitting .404.
And Royce Clayton will bunt in any situation. He'll push it to first. He'll drag it down the third baseline. A very accomplished bunter, had 24 sacks last year for the Colorado Rockies.
Drilled into center for a 2-out single.
Clayton has always had better than average speed, but he's never really been a great base stealer. He's actually improved as a base runner since he married Samantha Davies. who ran for the United Kingdom in the 2000 Summer Olympics, the 200-meter race. He works out with his wife in the offseason and has actually improved his speed. Boy, that's tough when Mama wants to take you, let's go for a run, and she leaves you in the dust. That's not a good thing.
D-backs went 1 for 2 yesterday in stolen base attempts. Henry Blanco on the year has caught 10 of 17. With that cannon behind the plate. Hairston still coming in, charging, makes a catch, battled the sun the entire time. Still no score, midway in the second.
Atomic Dimension from the corner service. Well, I'm not a policeman, okay? You know what I do? I look after the dead. My job is not to save them. I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be. My job is also to prevent death. It's my inquest. I decide what questions are to be asked. The inquest is over when I say it's over, and it's not over until I hear from every witness that I want to hear from.
This is the famous Budweiser beer. How do you make such a perfect taste? Start with only the finest all-natural ingredients. Blend them together in a traditional brewing process. Age it with beechwood chips for a distinct flavor. Do all of this, and you'll have the perfect beer with a taste, a smoothness, and a drinkability you'll find in no other beer at any price. This is Budweiser. This is beer.
It's the hot thing in activewear. Bengay's Ultra Strength Pain Relieving Patch. Now even stronger for deep heating relief. And it lasts up to 8 hours. Try the Ultra Strength Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. It's what's hot in pain relief.
At CarQuest, our people go above and beyond the call of duty to help the technician working on your car by supplying them with superior service and only quality auto parts. Like NGK, a world leader in spark plug technology. NGK spark plugs are specified as original equipment by many leading engine manufacturers. They trust NGK, so should you. With nearly 4,000 stores and over 130,000 CarQuest parts to choose from. We'll be there when you need us. CarQuest, the professional choice.
New this fall on Superstation WGN.
Let's meet today's Walgreens Celebrity Bat Kids. 15-year-old Maria Sapienza from Gurnee and Jimmy Zucker, 14, from Chicago. Remember, young Cub fans can get Celebrity Bat Kid info in this month's issue of Fine Line. Ryan Dempster on the cover. This month's issue. Nebraska representative here. And Wrigley Field, Matt Merton. It's a first pitch on the ground, and it's Royce Clayton to throw him out. So 1 pitch, 1 out. And Jose Macias filling in for Aramis Ramirez today. At third base, 7th start for Jose at the hot corner. Made his first start this year in center 2 days ago.
And did a nice job in center field. Got a great jump on a couple balls hit into the gap. Got a good jump on a ball hit in front of him out there in center field. Yeah, you really couldn't tell he hadn't played out there a lot.
No pitch to Macias. A strike and a fastball catching the corner, 1-1. See, these guys are former Expos teammates, Vasquez and Macias. Fouled off. 8th career start for Vasquez here at Wrigley's. 2-2 with a .450 earned run average. 3-3 in his career against the Cubs. Overall, he's 9-9 this year, and 87 and 87 for his career. Slicing out of play.
Pretty much the definition of a 500 pitcher right there, and you know, it's been kind of puzzling for baseball people because Vasquez has such great stuff. He just early in his career, the book was stay close to him. You know, just don't let the game turn into a blowout. Stay close to him, and he'll have an inning where he makes some mistakes. He's had times where he's been dazzling out there on the mound. Other times, like opening day this year, where he can't seem to locate his pitches well enough to get anybody out. But bottom line is he wins as many as he loses.
Still 2-2 on Macias. People still coming into the ballpark. We mentioned the big weekend of baseball programming here on WGN. Just keep it right here. We'll have it all for you. Rest of this series. Encore presentation of this old Cub tomorrow. Ryan Sandberg special after Game 3 tomorrow. Dan Roan and Rich King. Wow, what an at bat for Macias. Kept battling and then ducks one into right, and it scoots past Tracy. So Jose ends up at second. Should be a single and an error. And that's what it is.
Well, Tracy, with 3 errors on the season coming at first base, Macias goes down and golfs that breaking ball into right field. Well, we talked about it at length throughout this season. Right field at Wrigley is the toughest right field in baseball. That ball was just misplayed right there by Chad Tracy. I think it was in his haste to get spun around and throw that ball back to second base. He just didn't come up with the ball first.
Mark Pryor on deck. Blanco the hitter with 1 out here in this inning and a runner at second. 2 pitchers have done a nice job at the plate this year. Pryor hitting .231. Vasquez .275 with a home run. Good numbers for Henry at a 4-hit game in St. Louis. Kick and the 2-0 at the knees. Is that I'm facing the 8th hitter? It's 2-0. I'm going to throw him a breaking ball because the pitcher's next.
Yeah, he's going to have to. Henry's going to have to hit a pitcher's pitch in this at bat. I don't anticipate Vasquez coming down the middle of the plate with anything right here. He's going to try to get him out, but if he makes a mistake, he's going to miss in his favor. Ooh, got away with one right there. A fastball belt high down the middle of the plate. Snyder had moved out onto the outside corner. But Vasquez gets greedy. That ball tails back over the heart of the plate. Henry's weight gets a little forward that time. You could see the shift before the swing started. Had his weight all out on that front leg and just a little tardy with the bat.
Let's pause for station identification.
This is America's home for sports all year round. Superstation WGN.
Great to have you with us today. Bob Brenly, Len Casper, and our WGN sports crew. Two to Blanco. Sprayed foul. Cubs are 12.5 back of the Cardinals and in 3rd place in their division. But as we told you right off the top, 3 back of Washington and now Houston in the NL wild card. Should be a big weekend around baseball. We'll see how many deals are going to be made. So Sean Chacon got dealt to the Yankees from the Rockies. I know a lot of times you have a lot of deals that are kind of out there, and then one move is made, and then that's it. Then they all start happening right after that, the domino effect. If you'd like to email us, it's WGN Cubs TV booth at AOL.com. Breaking ball, and it's 3-2. A buddy of mine in the business doing a talk show always said, we don't start rumors, we just spread them. And you're going to hear a lot of that this weekend.
I'll tell you, in my days as a player back in the 80s, I was a master at starting rumors. It was so easy to do.
Henry hanging tough.
You know, the writers would be hanging around the clubhouse, and you know, you would very surreptitiously pull one of your teammates aside and kind of whisper like you didn't want anybody to hear, but just loud enough you would mention a name, and then, you know, the other guy would react, really, we're going to get him, and then just walk away, and inevitably it would end up in the paper the next day. Giants are talking about making a deal with whatever team it happened to be.
Here comes another pitch to Blanco.
Oh, great at bat.
45 pitches already for Vasquez.
Well, I stand corrected. It's been a good at bat up to this point. If he gets a base hit at the end of it, then it's a great at bat. We're getting who? Jeez.
Still 3-2. The next offering, another foul.
The Cubs have already had more good at bats in the first couple innings of this ball game than they had all day yesterday against Brad Halsey. When we talk about patience as a hitter, pitchers have to have patience as well. This is an at bat where Vasquez might get flustered out there and just reach back and fling one right down the middle of the plate, just trying to get the at bat over with, and those are the kind of mistakes you have to be ready to take advantage of.
And a deep left for Blanco. This ball way back. Home run. 2-run shot. I think that's a great at bat. On the 11th pitch of the at bat.
Henry just wasting good pitch after good pitch after good pitch. Eventually Vasquez just shrugs his shoulder, throws one right down the middle of the plate, and Henry is all over it. Yeah, that's a great at bat.
Tapped back to Vasquez. He'll barehand and throw to Clark. So Pryor is out, and the Cubs with their first runs in this series.
You know, pitcher's out there battling against a hitter. He's making some borderline pitches. He's moving it up and down, in and out. Guy just keeps fouling it off, fouling it off, fouling it off. And finally, Vasquez lost his patience and just threw one right down the middle of the plate. Our Southwest.com, how far did it fly? 360 feet right down that left field line. Where the Hank White fan club is going crazy.
They love it. Catcher can't even relax after a home run.
Yep, strap it on.
Ball one on Hairston. Cubs with their 135th home run, the third on this homestand. There's a flare and Counsell going out. He has it. That ends the inning. Blanco, the terrific at bat. 2-run homer off Vasquez, and the Cubs have struck first.
There's a situation, Mr. President.
There's a nuclear device under terrorist control.
Tell me where the bomb is!
Catch 24 this fall on Superstation WGN.
Excuse me. You got any more Sierra Mist? You're out. Oh, we got something in the back room. You gonna go get it? I don't feel like going back there. Is there anything I can do to... Would you dance for it? I'm not gonna dance for it. All right. I was just kidding. We're out of Sierra Mist. Sorry.
The new 12-ounce plastic bottle 8-pack from Pepsi, perfectly portable, fridge-friendly, car cup size convenience. Now that's refreshing.
I've tried Mother's, I've tried McGuire's. I could honestly say this is the best product I've used yet. I put it on and it was just like amazing. The first time I've ever seen that much shine from a product. This is Turtle Wax? Really?
There's a new standard in shine. Turtle Wax Platinum Series Car Wax.
That's how I like to spend my weekends. Just baby in my car. Oh, the shine, it looks like a mirror. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't believe anything could make it look this nice. Look at this. It's better than all of them I've tried.
Turtle Wax Platinum Series. The new standard in shine.
Think about the mountains you want to climb in the BMW X5. The corners you want to take. The hairpin turns you plan to find. Because it would be very un-BMW-like to have you thinking about brake pads, rotors, and oil changes. The BMW X5, the only SAV in its class with a standard full maintenance program. Lease at BMW X5 3.0 for $429 a month until July 31st.
If a Cubs player hits a homer today, write down the distance and player's name and send it to WGN TV. You could win 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination.
It is 2-0 Cubs. Mark Pryor facing the Diamondback starter, Javier Vasquez. Strike one. Well, the Ho-Ho Cams are here this weekend, up from Arizona. Take great care of us in Mesa. Stan Troutman representing the Ho-Ho Cams up here in the booth with us. And Stan, welcome to Wrigley. And this kind of has a feel weather-wise of maybe a February 28th, March 1st spring training game in Arizona, doesn't it?
Just about.
And Vasquez with a one-hopper to Nathy Perez. He throws him out. Well, the Cubs set the attendance record for the second year in a row. 193,993 people passed through the gates at Ho-Ho Cam and Mesa in spring training. It's just a great atmosphere for baseball.
Yes, we have a great time out there the month of March. All of us volunteer to help with the baseball park, and then the monies we raise we give back to charities after the season. So we have a great time. We get to enjoy good baseball and accomplish something for the community also.
I know you're going to have a booth coming up at the Cubs convention in January, and everybody thinking about spring training at that time. And also on the web, visit Mesa.com. Click on the Cubs logo on the page for further information. And I know people like to plan their trips well in advance.
Yep. In fact, because of our attendance records, if people are planning on coming out for spring training, they need to do it early. We have a great time out there, and we'd like to invite everybody to come out in the month of March.
2-0 on Craig Counsell. And he pops it up. Blanco giving it a look. As we mentioned, that wind's going to push everything toward that backstop if it's hit right around the plate.
Well, Stan, we know what you guys do in spring training. You're very busy over there helping the Cubs and the people that come to Mesa to see ball games. What do you do this time of year?
This time of year, I'm busy running 3 auto parts stores in the East Valley area, but we get the opportunity to come back here in the summertime and see a series with the Cubs, and we always enjoy that. Gives us a chance to get out of that heat a little bit.
Yeah, popped up on the bunt by Counsell. Going to be a tough play. Walker gets it over in time. What a play. Craig Counsell's been retired on some great defensive plays in this series. Remember the Jody Garrett catch yesterday, and Todd Walker with a barehanded play. This was not easy.
Well, he thinks he can make the play in the air initially, but when he can't, he slows up a half a step, fields it with the bare hand, all in one motion. The shovel throw on to Derek Lee. I mean, that's the only way you can complete that play. If he gloves it at all, even if he tries to glove it and flip it to Derek Lee, I think Counsell's going to beat that out at first base. That's as good as you can do it right there.
Jan Tracy with 2 outs of the inning and nobody on. Stan, is it a coincidence that the Arizona Diamondbacks are here this weekend? It just kind of work out that way?
No, when they put out the schedule, we looked for an opportunity to come in the summertime, and it just worked out this year that the D-backs were going to be here. So we have a whole group of guys down there that kind of have mixed emotions.
Okay. Well, let's hope they're rooting for the Cubs this weekend, and I guess if they want to root for the Diamondbacks starting Monday, that's all right.
That's the way we do it. I've been a Cubs fan longer than I have a Diamondbacks fan, so
there you have it. Outside on Tracy, 2-1 the count. Well, it's just a great time in general going out to Arizona for spring training, because if you want to go to some other parks, they're all in the Phoenix area, well within an hour and a half at the most.
Yeah, the farthest one's Tucson. That's about an hour, a little over an hour.
Two and 2 on Tracy. Pryor looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. Henry Blanco with a 2-run home run in the second. And Tracy strikes out. Stan Troutman from the Ho-Ho Cams, thanks for stopping by, and have a great rest of the summer. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Need a break from Chicago? Fly nonstop to all these cities on Southwest Airlines, the airline committed to serving Chicago.
You are now free to move about the country.
Concerned about bad breath? Listerine Pocket Packs dissolve in seconds, killing bad breath germs to freshen your breath instantly. Listerine Pocket Pack strips. Now try less intense fresh citrus.
Hey, Bob here in sunny Italy. Inspiration for the light, fresh taste of Quizno's new Chicken Milano sub. It's the perfect summer taste with all white meat chicken, sun-dried tomato pesto, spring greens, and ripe tomatoes. All topped with a cool basil mayo and gourmet cheeses and toasted on rosemary Parmesan bread. Look at that thing. Oh, I wonder how you say in Italian, come to Papa.
The new Chicken Milano sub, only at Quizno's.
Toasty.
Well, it's been a long day for Strahan.
What a lovely shot.
Yeah! Who's the man?
Hey, Strahan. Maybe it's your deodorant. Let's start over. No, not that one. This time start with Right Guard Gel. It's the strongest gel. Keeps you drier than even the leading stick, so it lasts till the end of the day.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Right Guard. Start right, end right.
This is America's home for super movies. Superstation WGN.
WGN Sports coverage of Chicago Cubs baseball from Wrigley Field is brought to you by Budweiser. Bright, crisp, clean, pure. The king of beers. 2-0 Cubs. Henry Blanco on the 11th pitch of his at bat against Javier Vasquez with a 2-run blast to left. A.P. Perez batting second in the lineup today, leading off the third inning. Strike one. Well, Michael Barrett had a couple of home runs in that series against the Giants. Mentioned Henry with a 4-hit game. He hit a home run Sunday night. So the catchers have been hitting for power. Kind of a swinging bunt. DeLoss was playing in. Unable to throw out Napi. Coming up Sunday, the first 20,000 fans will receive a scratch and win card. 500 random winners will take home an MLB authenticated Derek Lee autographed Rawlings official baseball. Compliments of MBNA. Fans are encouraged to hold on to their cards for second chance drawings throughout the game. For complete rules, visit Cubs.com. Derek is 1 for 1.
And once again, like last time, the Diamondbacks with the big defensive shift in the infield. That's Craig Counsell in the middle of your screen, the second baseman. playing on the shortstop side of second base. Only Tony Clark roaming that right side of the infield.
1-1 on Lee. It's really amazing. A guy who used to go the other way so much, and now putting together a career season, playing him to pull. We've talked about this before. You have to pitch a guy a little bit differently. I mean, if Vasquez is just going to pound the outside corner, Derek will definitely take it the other way, but you don't want to throw it in his wheelhouse either. I think what they really want is an extra defender.
Or 2 or 3
against him.
Some of them up in the bleachers.
Close pitch. He took it for ball 2. 2-2.
Well, you're right, but if you overshift your defense like this, it sometimes limits what a pitcher can throw to a batter. I mean, obviously, you don't want to throw him anything hard away right here. So give him a pitch that he could shoot to that right side, give him an easy base hit. But then again, the Diamondbacks might be content to give up a base hit to Derek Lee to the opposite field, as opposed to challenging him from the middle of the plate in and running the risk of him knocking a ball out onto Waveland Avenue.
I guess it is getting to the point where if you give up singles to Derek Lee as an opposition, you feel pretty good. And he swings and misses for that slow breaking ball, and it came up empty. That's the first K for Vasquez.
Vasquez hasn't thrown a lot of breaking balls in this game, but takes a lot off of this one, gets Derek Lee out in front. That's the equivalent of a changeup there. A breaking ball in the low 70s, just tails it off the outside corner of the plate. I think it was more the speed than the break that time that fooled Derek Lee. You talk about limiting the damage. You know, most teams, a little dispute out there on the mound. Not sure what exactly is going on. Mike Everett, the home plate umpire, along with Chris Snyder and Javier Vasquez. I think it had something to do perhaps with the jewelry that Vasquez is wearing. Maybe not. I don't know. Paul Lessard, the head trainer for the Diamondbacks, making his way out.
Vasquez looks like he's saying, I'm all right.
We'll find out shortly.
Well, it's interesting. A pitcher cannot get away with any sort of movement that would indicate that he's injured or even uncomfortable. I mean, we've seen it this year with Carlos Zambrano. The minute a pitcher just doesn't look right, pitching coach, trainer, the manager, they're heading right out to the mound. You can't hide out there.
Nope.
Strike one on Burnett.
But just to finish up that point about limiting the damage, you know, most teams have a left-handed specialist out of the bullpen, and those are the guys you bring in to get out the Barry Bonzas and the Sean Greens and the Larry Walkers, Jim Edmonds of the world. And when your left-handed specialist comes in the game and maybe gives up a single, well, in a lot of managers' eyes, he's done his job. He kept the guy in the ballpark. He didn't drive in any runs, so even though he got a base hit, at least he didn't do damage.
It's hits it hard on the ground, foul. Diamondbacks with their alternate road jerseys. Just resting his eyes.
Oh, the perfect child.
Inside. Vasquez ready for this 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
It's pretty apparent what Vasquez is trying to do to Jeremy Burnitz. He's throwing that fastball up and in off the plate, cutting it, trying to get it in on the hands of Jeremy Burnitz. He just leans back away from him, takes the pitch, looking for something out over.
Outside corner, and Burnett's frozen. 2 strikeouts of the inning for Vasquez. 2-0 Cubs.
This is the famous Budweiser beer. With the drinkability you'll find nowhere else. And what is drinkability? It's about blending the finest ingredients. It's about making the perfect beer that's not too heavy, not too light. It's about our exclusive Beechwood aging that produces a taste, a smoothness, and a drinkability you'll find in no other beer at any price. This is Budweiser. This is beer.
So you're not gonna talk? Then we're gonna talk.
Not my minutes, man.
Happy birthday, Nana. Dry cleaning, is that deductible?
Thank you for holding.
He cowers.
Hang it up!
In a land far, far away. Hello? Department of Motor Vehicles.
Never enough minutes on your wireless plan? Come to T-Mobile and get the most whenever minutes.
More minutes. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Now get the most whenever minutes guaranteed. 1,000 for just $39.99.
T-Mobile. Get more minutes.
Cholesterol comes from 2 sources. It's not only from that footlong Frank, but from your Grandpa Frank. And not just from that Virginia ham, but from your Aunt Ginny, too. Your cholesterol doesn't just come from food. It also has a lot to do with family history. Ask your doctor about Vytorin. A healthy diet is important, but when it's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Vytorin treats the 2 sources of cholesterol, food, and what your body makes naturally based on family history. Vytorin was proven in clinical studies to lower bad cholesterol more than Lipitor alone. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Vytorin may interact with other medicines or certain foods, increasing your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Follow a healthy diet and ask your doctor about adding Vytorin. For the 2 sources of cholesterol, remember the name Vytorin. That's Vytorin.
2-0 Cubs. We're now in the 4th inning. Mark Pryor has yielded a couple of hits, but no runs. And the 0-1 to Luis Gonzalez is a strike. Pryor getting ahead in the count. He has struck out 4 today, has not walked a batter. Here in July, Pryor 2-2 with a .445 earned run average. In his career this month, 4-7 with a .451 is the only month where his ERA is above .366. Now the only month in which he doesn't have a winning record. But consider this: in August and September combined in his career, he's 16-6 with a .250 earned run average. Hopes to finish strong again this year. Macias over near the tarp, and it's back out of play.
Now, most starting pitchers will tell you that they go through a dead arm period at some point in the season. You hear pitchers talk about it in spring training. You go to Arizona or Florida, you start camp, there's a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy, and you're getting into your throwing routine and everything feels great, and all of a sudden about the middle of the spring training games, you hear pitchers talk about a dead arm. The ball just doesn't feel like it's coming out of their hand right. Then they work their way through that. They start the regular season, and once again at some point during the season, and it's usually different for everybody, they'll go through another dead arm period.
Bounced over Pryor. Nafee is there, backed up on it a bit. He still gets Gonzalez. Hey, Cubs fans, don't forget to visit our WGN Baseball blog. And on the blog today, I'll have a post about yesterday's game and looking ahead. The Nomar Watch as well. Bob looks at the prospects of the Cubs making any deals with the trading deadline just a couple of days away. Today's game notes as well from our friends at Stats Inc. Brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Troy Glaus has committed 17 errors this year, tied for the most errors in the National League along with David Wright of the Mets. 20 home runs at the plate. And the Cubs defensively have committed 68 errors now, 4th most errors in the National League, a couple yesterday. The Cubs have made some great defensive plays. They've had some games in which they've had some huge defensive plays. We talked about Jeremy Burnitz out in right. Derek Lee with Gold Glove caliber defense at first. Henry Blanco with that great arm behind the plate. But they've also had their missteps collectively as a team at times.
And unfortunately, it's been on the most routine of plays sometimes. A two-hopper hit right at somebody that they just don't make a clean play on, or a routine ball hit to one of the infielders and their throw pulls Derek off the bag over there at first base. Matt Merton's one error on the season was the most innocuous looking base hit into left field. He just came in to pick it up and it glanced off the side of his glove for an error. Just some very odd errors have been made this year. Jeremy Burnitz has 4 on the season, but one of those was a throw that hit the runner in the back at third base. So really a tough error to hang on an outfielder when you make a perfect throw and it happens to hit the runner. But they have made the spectacular plays at times as well.
Pryor now facing Tony Clark. Was caught looking on strikes in the second inning. The pitch fouled back.
Well, you mentioned earlier that Connor Jackson had been called up from the minor leagues and more than likely will get the start tomorrow against left-hander Rich Hill at first base for Tony Clark. Bob Melvin would like to get this big guy back on the bench. He's one of those guys that's almost too valuable to start. A pinch hitter that hits for power from both sides of the plate, hits for average from both sides of the plate. That is a heck of a weapon for a manager to have at your fingertips over there on the bench to drop in at a point where you feel like you can break a game open.
Well, in 01, Clark hit 16 home runs. 03 hit 16. Last year, 16. This year, 16. And now he gets away from Henry. And it'll be a wild pitch on Pryor.
It appeared to be a breaking ball that Mark Pryor just held on to a little bit too long. That starts down and in and goes further down and in. That's one of those balls that's almost impossible for a catcher to, first of all, get in front of, and second of all, block, because it's over in that batter's box and there's lots of toe holes dug in there, lots of bumps and ridges, and the ball very rarely takes a good bounce out of the batter's box. We're talking about having weapons available off the bench. We had such a strong bench in 2001 in Arizona. There were 2 different instances during the season. We carried 3 catchers just so we could drop that pinch hitter in there, not only in the pitcher spot, but also in the catcher spot. We had David DeLucci and Rubio Durazo and Greg Colburn, all very accomplished pinch hitters, and there were times we would pinch hit for our catcher in the 4th or 5th inning of a ball game if we thought it was the right time to blow a game open.
You see Sean Green watching on the on-deck circle. Runner at second with 1 out. And a 2-0 Cubs lead. (3-2) and he struck him out. Clark has fanned twice. 5 strikeouts for Pryor.
Looked like the same pitch he threw in the dirt earlier in the sequence. This time he gets it over the plate at the bottom of the strike zone and breaks it down around the ankles. Clark's a good low ball hitter. He can't lay off of that pitch.
Dangerous hitter here in Sean Green. Cubs as a team 9th in the league in ERA at 4.23 entering this afternoon's game. A strike.
We saw that strikeout on Tony Clark. Part of what sells that is the arm speed that he has on his breaking ball. Generally on an off-speed pitch, a pitcher will whether knowingly or unknowingly, slow down his arm just a little bit. But the idea, good pitchers like Mark Prior, they have the same arm speed on every pitch. They let the grip on the ball change the speed or change the direction of the pitch. A lot of pitchers will really slow down their motion, or they'll slow down their arm to try to slow the pitch down. Mark just lets the grip on the ball do the action and uses the same arm speed on every pitch.
Now, when you hear about max effort guys, is it harder for those guys? And Mark Prior is not one of those guys. When you're free and easy and you can throw 95 and it's fluid, does it help you keep that arm speed when you throw the breaking ball?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you're working within the limits of what your body can do physically, it's much easier to have good results when you try to throw off-speed pitches. I mean, you see it especially with relievers who throw every pitch as hard as they can. They have trouble backing off and throwing off-speed pitches.
Derek Lee takes care of it. Todd Walker looked like he wasn't quite sure where it was. 2-0 Cubs.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. The new 12-ounce plastic bottle 8-pack from Pepsi, perfectly portable, fridge-friendly, car cup-sized convenience. Now that's refreshing.
I'm an AmeriQuest mortgage specialist, and whether your dream is to buy a home, refinance, or see the Rolling Stones, I'm here to help. That's why we're sponsoring the Rolling Stones tour. I love you. For your chance to win tickets, go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest Mortgage, proud sponsor of the American dream.
I know you do more brakes and mufflers than anyone, but do you really do shocks and struts too?
Yes.
Factory scheduled maintenance?
Yes.
Oil changes?
Yes.
Tire rotation?
Yes.
Belts and hoses?
Yes.
Headlights?
Yes.
Batteries?
Yes.
Back rubs?
Yes. I mean...
Come to the best. Midas, America's leader in brakes. Pads or shoes for $39.95 plus installation. We always provide an estimate for installation and fully explain any additional work. For mechanics known for their work and their word.
Trust the Midas touch.
Cub fans, don't forget, if you missed seeing the broadcast premiere of This Old Cub last weekend, Jeff Sano's outstanding documentary about his father Ron, it'll be presented again thanks to the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. The encore broadcast tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Central before the Cubs host the Diamondbacks at 3. Gosling and Hill, a couple of left-handers, due to match up. Todd Walker flies out to left. It'll be Matt Merton. Nomar in the dugout, and again, prior to game time, we had not yet discussed things with the Cubs. I'm sure he got together with Dusty briefly and trying to figure out what the next step is in his rehab. He went 0 for 1 with a couple of walks last night for Peoria. April 20th was when he tore a tendon in his left groin running out of the box in St. Louis. It's surgery to reinforce the abdominal muscle attachment where it meets the groin in late April, so it's been 3 months. And I remember talking to Mike Piazza, who had a, I guess, somewhat similar groin injury, and he was out 3 months. So this is about the time when you start thinking about getting back in the big leagues. And Nomar, you know, didn't put an exact timetable on it. He said, look, you're going to ask me, I'm a player, I want to always play. I'm sure he'll need some more game action in the minor leagues before he is really ready to come back. And Bob, as you know, when a guy comes back, you want him to be all the way back. You don't want to have to put any limitations on him and say, well, we can only use him as a pinch hitter We have to take him out after 6 innings. You want him to be able to go full speed for a full 9 innings. And Merton goes the other way. Right field corner. He's on his way to second. Makes the turn. He's going to try for a triple. Here's a relay throw. It's late. In fact, it hits him on the bounce. Vasquez backing it up. Well, he has 2 doubles. That's his first triple. All he's missing is his first career home run. Man, has he done it all.
Well, we always preface everything we say about Matt Merton with, you never know. It's early in his career, but certainly with his approach at the plate, he figures to be a good hitter in the big leagues. He goes the other way as well as anybody the Cubs have on this roster. Drives that ball down into the right field corner. Boy, just stays in there. Front shoulder stays in, hips stay closed, and then just explodes on the ball to the opposite field all the way to the wall.
Infield in with Macias at the plate. He singled his first time. Fly to center. Of course, the wind's going to push this one back toward the infield. And Merton's not going to test Sean Green. Like the throw was going to trail up the first base line a little bit. But again, it wasn't hit deep.
Of course, the third base coach and the runner at third never know that that throw is going to tail up the line. All they can do is see where the ball is caught, see the trajectory of the throw, and then make the decision in a split second whether to keep going down that third base line or to stop. Of course, it's easy to say this after the fact, but this might have been one where you take a chance. Sean Green playing out of position in center field. He's a left-handed thrower. Any throw he makes to the plate figures to tail to the first base side of home plate. But as I said, you only have a split second to make that decision. And now it's going to be on Mark Pryor to figure out a way to drive Matt Merton home from third base with 2 outs.
Now, speaking of the Merton triple, were the Cubs told, hey, you've got a guy, first time he's ever played right, and I know he's got a third baseman's arm, but anything rattling around in the corner with a guy kind of unfamiliar out there, Chad Tracy, who's already made an error today, do you take more risks?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the Cubs, every team, they go over the opposing pitchers, they go over the opposing hitters, and then they talk about the guys defensively. You know, the guy at third base can handle bunts. He barehands the ball. He throws well off balance. Second baseman has trouble turning double plays. Second baseman likes to come across the bag on double plays. The center fielder throws well going to his right but not going to his left. You go over all those things in your advance meetings, so when they come up in the course of the game, hopefully you can anticipate what you want to do and then execute it.
Ball 1 on Mark Pryor.
And certainly with Chad Tracy playing out of position in right field, a very unfamiliar position for him, it figures that the Cubs are going to be more aggressive. We talked about Luis Gonzalez in left field yesterday. Coming off Tommy John surgery, he's never had a strong throwing arm. I would anticipate if the opportunity arises that the Cubs will try to take advantage of his arm.
Two 2-0 on Pryor. First and third with 2 down in the inning. Counsell going out, and he will make the grab. So the Cubs strand a couple. 4 in the books, 2-0 Cubs.
Before taking the plunge, know the rules. Never use your real name.
Sanjay Collins, Chuck Denderler,
Seamus O'Toole,
Robbie O'Shea.
Have a good backstory.
French Foreign Legion.
Never gonna be a professional bullfighter.
And always bring a really nice gift. After all, it's wedding season. Do you gift wrap?
Christmas come early.
Honey, who is going to want to buy your lime green hatchback?
Oh, sweet mercy. A lime green hatchback.
It's a thing of beauty.
Find the right car or buyer for you. Cars.com.
It's the hot thing in activewear. Bengay's Ultra Strength Pain Relieving Patch. Now even stronger for deep heating relief. And it lasts up to 8 hours. Try the Ultra Strength Bengay Pain Relieving Patch. It's what's hot in pain relief.
Buongiorno! Bob here, getting a little taste of sunny Italy. And now you can too with Quizno's new Chicken Milano Sub. It's a light, delicious taste with all white meat chicken, sun-dried tomato pesto, spring greens and tomatoes, and a cool basil mayo, all on rosemary Parmesan bread. It's not quite like riding around Milan with an Italian supermodel, but it's close.
The new Chicken Milano Sub, only at Quiznos.
Toasty.
We live paycheck to paycheck. We barely get done paying one bill and then another one comes in. I mean, what would we do if one of us really got sick?
Millions of hardworking Americans live without health insurance. Together RX Access can help. Sponsored by 10 top pharmaceutical companies, Together RX Access saves eligible people up to 40% on prescriptions. And it's free.
I feel like without your health, what else is there?
Call 1-800-444-4106 today.
A lot of energy in the park here on this Friday afternoon of Cubs baseball. Cubs leading 2-0. They have not lost a series since being swept in Atlanta before the All-Star break. That was in early July. They dropped game 1 of this series, but it's a 4-game set. Strike on Clayton.
Sunscreen obviously makes your hair fall out.
0-2 on Clayton. He'll be followed by Snyder and then Vasquez here in the 5th inning. Pitch from Pryor. It's too high.
That's what pitchers call changing the eye level of a hitter. A little higher than Mark Pryor probably would have liked it, but you just keep pounding pitches down around the knees and hitters get locked in looking down in that location. Pryor throws a fastball up over Clayton's head and then drops a breaking ball down below the knees. Easy swinging strike for Mark Pryor.
Let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
He was one of the best second basemen of all time. On the eve of his Hall of Fame induction, relive the magic moments that made him a Cubs legend. Ryne Sandberg, second to none. Saturday at 7 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
It's Chris Snyder at the plate. He left 7 men on base yesterday. 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, walked twice. He has flied out to center today. Two and one. Mentioned the Diamondbacks alternate uniforms, some different colors, like the purple and the aqua or teal, the black jerseys. Line and actually one hopper to Macias, who knocked it down. The throw to Lee, picked but safe. So Snyder aboard with 1 out. It'll be an error on Macias.
Ball hit very hard down there to Jose Macias at third base. He does a nice job of knocking it down. Unfortunately, it bounces a little too far away. His throw's in the dirt to Derek Lee, who, as usual, makes a great pick. And looked like Derek thought they had him over there at first base. Snyder, a slow-running catcher. Of course, Derek knows from having that right foot on the bag, he can feel when the runner hits the base. The bag really gives. You can tell when a runner hits the base. And by Derek Lee's reaction, I think he thinks they got him over there, but it looked like Snyder was just a fraction of a second ahead of that throw going into Derek's glove.
Bunted by Vasquez, and Lee will fire over to Walker. Cub fans, be sure to join us tomorrow at 6 o'clock on WGN following our Cubs Diamondbacks broadcast as we present Ryne Sandberg's second to none. Our special celebrating the Hall of Fame career of the greatest second baseman in Cubs history. Dan Roan, Rich King. They'll have live reports from Cooperstown on the eve of Rhino's induction, 6 o'clock right here on WGN. All kinds of great numbers on Rhino. How about this one supplied by Stats Inc. The only player in Major League history to compile a 200-hit season, a 50-steal campaign, and a 40-homer season. 200 hits in 84, 50 steals in 85, 40 homer season in 90. Here's the 0-1 to Green. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rhino had exactly 200 hits in 1984. 54 steals the following year. Counsell at the plate, rather. I said Sean Green earlier. In 1990, 40 home runs, 100 RBIs for Rhino. Diamondbacks without a hit since the second inning. They have just 2 on the afternoon. 1-2 to Counsell. Pulled way foul. Well, Rhino's family, of course, will be there. Lots of members of the Cubs front office. A ton of ex-teammates will be at Cooperstown. Speaking of Rhino's family, B.R. Kahneman works in the Cubs media relations office. Rhino's stepson flew to New York yesterday.
Well, you can fly to New York, but you have to drive to Cooperstown.
Right.
It's not really close to anything, but that drive into Cooperstown is pure Americana. Farmland, rolling hills.
Ground ball. Derek Lee, he's going to take it by himself. And the D-backs done in the 5th, an error, but no runs. And the Cubs lead this one from Wrigley, 2-0.
Can't we stay another day?
Sure.
Florida. Easy to get to, hard to leave. Go to Southwest.com for Southwest Airlines $59 internet specials from Chicago Midway to Florida. Purchased by August 4th. Only at Southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
Would you rather have the Kia Spectra's 6 standard airbags or the Corolla's 2? Would you rather have Spectra's 138 horsepower or Civic's 115? Would you rather have Spectra's 10-year warranty, which is almost twice as long as theirs? And would you rather have all this for under $12,000 after $1,750 cash back? Would you rather not hear any more ridiculously easy questions? The Kia Spectra. And for another easy answer, check out the sport-tuned Kia Spectra 5. Right now, get a Spectra LX for under $12,000. Hurry into your local Kia retailer.
Mr. Fogel, no denying your body's changed over the years. Did you ingest anything that helped create your new physique?
Yes. Usually a 6-inch turkey breast sub for lunch and a foot-long veggie delight for dinner.
What is this?
We're going to need more evidence.
I hear that you guarantee all your work. Is that true?
Yes.
Can you have our van ready in time for the canoe trip this afternoon?
Absolutely.
Are your 3,000 certified mechanics guided by the ideals of the young voyagers? He's one of us!
Come to the best. Midas, America's leader in brakes. Pads or shoes for $39.95 plus installation. We always provide an estimate for installation and fully explain any additional work. For mechanics known for their work and their word.
Trust the Midas touch.
Every dream has a home.
On Superstation WGN.
2-0 Cubs. Receive in-game alerts, scores, breaking news, and more instantly on your mobile phone for only $3.99 per month. Simply text the word Cubs to 65246 or MLB Go from your mobile phone. Cubs have scored 2 runs today on one swing of the bat. Henry Blanco with a 2-run shot in the second inning. Top of the order here in the 5th against Javier Vasquez. A much better start for him against the Cubs than the last time on opening day at Arizona. 1 2/3 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs.
It doesn't even look like the same pitcher today. Hitting his spots much better, changing speeds much better. Cubs just didn't give him an opportunity to do that down in Arizona on opening day.
He has walked 2 today, 1 intentionally. He is tied for second in the National League, walking 1.5 hitters per 9 innings. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Hairston. When Vasquez walked Minnesota's Michael Kadire on June 9th, it snapped a streak of 220 consecutive batters faced and over 54 innings between walks. Bouncer to Gloss. So Hairston is 0 for 3 today. Afi Perez is 0 for 2. Arizona has won 2 in a row, trying to pick up its first 3-game winning streak since May 18th through the 20th. And to short, caught by Clayton. So Nafi again just trying to slap one past Gloss and kind of airmailed it, I guess, on the bunt to the shortstop.
Better line that time. That's where he wanted to bunt that ball. Unfortunately, he wanted to get it on the ground. The idea is to draw Gloss in at third base and then bunt it hard on the ground past him right at the shortstop. But that time Nafi just got under it a little bit too much and popped it in the air to short.
Strike 1 on D-Lee. Shift is on again. The pull shift on the infield. Well, Derek has come up to the plate now 3 times today, and all 3 times with the bases empty. His next home run will set a new career high. He has 32. (16 RBIs away from his career high of 98 set last year. You go back to 2000 with Florida, 158 games that year, 70 RBIs, 75 the next year, 86, 92, 98, and hopefully this year over 100. So the RBI total is going up every year. Payoff pitch, and he struck him out. So Derek has struck out twice, 1 for 3 here today. The Cubs have the lead. It's 2-0 after 5.
Whatever you do, don't mess with Bronson.
Don't hear you.
Charles Bronson stars in the action classic Murphy's Law, Saturday night at 8 on Superstation WGN. This is America's home for super comedy, Superstation WGN.
Well, it's been a long day for Strahan. What a lovely shot.
Yeah!
Hey, Strahan, maybe it's your deodorant. Let's start over. No, not that one. This time, start with Right Guard Gel. It's the strongest gel. Keeps you drier than even the leading stick, so it lasts till the end of the day.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Yes! Right Guard. Start right, end right.
Think about the mountains you want to climb in the BMW X5. The corners you want to take. The hairpin turns you plan to find. Because it would be very un-BMW-like to have you thinking about brake pads, rotors, and oil changes. The BMW X5, the only SAV in its class with a standard full maintenance program. Lease at BMW X5 3.0 for $429 a month until July 31st.
2-0 Cubs. 2, 3, and 4 for Arizona here in the 6th inning. 1-0 pitch, Chad Tracy fouls it off. Mark Pryor has allowed 2 hits, both coming in the first 2 innings. A leadoff double in the opening inning. Craig Counsell, a single by Royce Clayton in the second. He has struck out 6. He has walked 1. So very sharp this afternoon. We like to keep an eye on some former Cubs. Notice Joe Borowski has made 7 appearances with Tampa Bay, 6 2/3 innings. He's allowed 1 hit and no runs. So Joe off to a very good start. And remember when he was designated for assignment, he said he was feeling good as Tracy strikes out for the first out here in the 6th.
Mark Pryor just cruising along today. A much cooler afternoon than his last couple of starts. You may remember in his start against the Cardinals down in St. Louis, and also the start before that in Cincinnati against the Reds. Very hot, humid, muggy conditions. Mark was having a lot of trouble with the grip on his curveball. A lot of them got away from him. Some of them stayed up in the strike zone. Today his pitches are much crisper, much sharper.
Gonzalez with a 1-out single.
Mentioned Gonzalez will look at a pitch his first at bat of the ball game, but after that all bets are off. He's going to hack at the first thing he likes near that strike zone. That's a fastball up and out over the plate, just goes back up the middle of the field. Since recovering from that Tommy John surgery on his right elbow, Gonzalez has not hit for the kind of power that he has in the past. Only has 13 home runs this year. Generally he's a guy that always leads the team in home runs and usually is among the league leaders in home runs.
1 ball, no strikes on Gloss. Cubs right now 3 out in the wild card, and 2 teams atop that leaderboard. We mentioned Houston playing terrific baseball. The Nationals have not been playing well. The Cubs are going to play the Astros a lot at the end of the season. In fact, 7 games in the final 2 weekends. So those could be enormous games in September and early October. They'll have a 3-game series against the Astros the 23rd through the 25th of September. And then the Cubs finish in Houston the 29th of September through October 2nd. Cubs will play at Houston also in mid-August. Busted bat roller to Napey. He'll get an out at second. The relay is in time. So they double him up. 6-4-3. The broken bat, ground ball, double play. Still 2-0 Cubs.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball and the Chicago Cubs.
And I thought about after you rock, paper, scissors. All right. Whoa! Water makes the scissors rusty, and then they crumble and they break, and then paper scoops it up. What?
The new 12-ounce plastic bottle 8-pack from Pepsi, perfectly portable, fridge-friendly, car cup-sized convenience. Now that's refreshing.
This wireless bill is outrageous.
Leslie Ann Johnson.
Who's making these calls?
Aidan Patrick Riley, Hogan McFarlane.
Buffy DeLorean Rigsdale.
Vishay Rajni Gupta.
Nakamura Yoichiro-san.
Sunspray Honeysuckle Smith.
Not enough minutes on your family's wireless plan?
I gotta call you back.
Come to T-Mobile, where families get more whenever minutes to share.
More minutes?
More minutes.
Families talk free and get the most whenever minutes guaranteed.
T-Mobile. Get more minutes.
At CarQuest, our people go above and beyond the call of duty to help the technician working on your car by supplying them with superior service and only quality auto parts. Like Champion's Copper Plus plugs with zirconia enhanced ceramic for better performance. Top this off with a 2-year unlimited mileage guarantee and you've got a winner. Install Champion spark plugs no matter what you drive. With nearly 4,000 stores and over 130,000 CarQuest parts to choose from. We'll be there when you need us. CarQuest, the professional choice.
This portion of Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN is brought to you by CarQuest. 3,600 CarQuest auto parts stores across North America.
Let's pause for station identification.
This is America's home for sports all year round. Superstation WGN.
Welcome back to beautiful Wrigley Field. Cubs trying to even up this series. After dropping a 6-0 decision yesterday, they lead 2-0 today. And bat here in the 6th. Swing and a miss by Burnett. Well, Javier Vasquez has struggled with run support this year. And Mark Pryor has kept the Diamondbacks offense at bay through 6 innings. 1-1. Now 1-2. Walker and Merton to follow Burnett. Change up and missed. Looking ahead to the middle of the 7th inning, Ron Zook, the new head football coach at the University of Illinois, will sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Burnett strikes out. Don't miss your chance to win a custom-made motorcycle signed by current and former Cubs players. A raffle drawing will be held prior to Wednesday, September 28th game, and the winner will be announced on the field. You can purchase raffle tickets for $50 by logging on to Cubs.com. Only 4,000 tickets will be sold. Proceeds benefit Cubs Care. There's a chopper out there.
That's the one. That's the bike that will be auctioned off. The Cubs chopper. You have to buy a couple tickets for that.
It's a nice ride.
Yes, it is.
It's unique. Doesn't have that homogeneous look. Custom design. Now, do you still ride? I know you did at one point, right?
Yeah, my motorcycle's down in Arizona right now. There's too many potholes here in Chicago. Scares the living daylights out of me. Potholes and cab drivers scare me. But yeah, I ride quite a bit in the wintertime down in Arizona.
Now, be careful.
Well, we had a group of several retired ball players who all rode Harleys. We had a gang. We called ourselves the Bone Chips.
Walker to left center. Gonzalez on the move. He has it. Yeah, I have something similar, I guess, not as nice as Ryan Dempster's ride. I don't know if they found it, though. Ryan Dempster had his bicycle stolen recently.
Yeah, Dempster used to ride his bike to the ballpark.
Did you hear the play-by-play he was doing the other day? It was pretty good.
I caught a little bit of that, yeah.
He says he does it all the time. He says it's not like they just caught me one game doing it.
You have a lot of downtime in that bullpen.
Indeed. Merton to right. Tracy with the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning. 2-0 Cubs.
Make a date with Sex in the City.
Wow.
7 nights a week this fall.
Be there or be square.
God, you're old.
Reintroducing the Kia Sportage. With a 10-year warranty. Available V6. And advanced safety features. The SUV with everything is now for everyone. The Kia Sportage. Starting around $16,000.
Hey, Bob here in sunny Italy. Inspiration for the light, fresh taste of Quizno's new Chicken Milano Sub. It's the perfect summer taste with all white meat chicken, sun-dried tomato pesto, spring greens, and ripe tomatoes. All topped with a cool basil mayo and gourmet cheeses and toasted on rosemary Parmesan bread. Look at that thing. Oh, I wonder how you say in Italian, come to Papa.
The new Chicken Milano Sub, only at Quizno's.
Toasty.
Concerned about bad breath? Listerine Pocket Packs dissolve in seconds, killing bad breath germs to freshen your breath instantly. Listerine Pocket Pack strips. Now try less intense fresh citrus.
So, here's the one you saw on Cars.com. It's silver with alloy wheels and a bed liner.
Give me 5, man. Up high. Can you bird it? Can you do the bird? Can you do the bird?
Find the right car for you. Cars.com.
Time now for our Budweiser Game Time Fan Cam on a beautiful day at Wrigley. So Chris Isaac as Tony Clark puts a charge into this one. Deep right center field. And it's going to one-hop the wall out there. And Clark's going to make the turn, head to third. Relay throw is going to be late and offline. Double and an error on Jerry Hairston, who had trouble getting it back in. And the Cubs with 2 errors again today, and now 70 on the year.
Well, initially I thought that was going to work in the Cubs' favor. Hairston gets out there. He fans on it the first time right there. If he would have picked it up after the first drop, I think it would have been enough to bait Clark into going to third base, and they would have been able to throw him out. But when he fanned on it the second time, that gave the lumbering Tony Clark enough steps to get into third base ahead of the relay throw.
So Pryor's going to work from the windup against Sean Green. And he bounces it to Walker. He'll knock in Clark. Just the first time the Diamondbacks have had a runner past second and they get their first run. It's 2-1. And some more Chris Isaac. Don't make me dream about you. He'll be in town for 3 nights, August 7th through the 9th at the House of Blues. The show's brought to you by Bud Light True Music. Good taste for your good times. For tickets, go to Ticketmaster or call the House of Blues box office 312-923-2000. Wind in the 0-1. One ball, one strike on Royce Clayton. Tony Clark with the double, moved to third on that same play on the error by Hairston, and then Green knocked him in. Now, so much of how you feel about your offense is predicated by your starting pitcher. And you look at the first two games of this series. Yesterday for the Diamondbacks, they had so many chances to get more runs. But even leading 1-0 for a good part of the game, they ended up getting a couple of runs in the 7th, 3 in the 9th. But the Cubs couldn't get anything going against Brad Halsey. And in Jerome Williams' case, even though the Cubs were being shut out early, he kept the Diamondbacks down. So you just kind of wait for that moment to strike. It didn't happen for the Cubs offense yesterday. Well, the Cubs today with just 2 runs, but Mark Prior's pitched so well that you don't feel that bad about it, although now the Diamondbacks with a run and it's just a 1-run game. It always comes back to pitching, in particular the starting pitching.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Just setting the tone.
Very similar sequence to the last at bat against Royce Clayton when Mark Prior threw a fastball head high out over the plate. Came back to strike him out on a breaking ball low.
Action out of the Diamondbacks bullpen like Koplov and Lance Cormier. No lefties in their pen. Check swing foul. Still 3-2 on the Diamondback shortstop with the catcher Snyder on deck. Prior gets a sign from Henry Blanco, setting up in the outside corner. Easy play for the second baseman, Walker. Time to have a ball with the Illinois Lottery. Illinois football coach Ron Zook with the ceremonial first pitch today. Thank you to our friends at the Illinois Lottery. There he is, getting ready. Two outs, nobody aboard. Strike one on Snyder. Frank Thomas with a second fracture in his foot. That left foot. And likely will miss the remainder of the 2005 season. At .219 with 12 home runs in 34 games for the White Sox this year. Looks like his season is over. His season ended early last year. Rounding ball foul. That's all right. He didn't get it, but a fan did eventually.
He slowed it down enough that nobody got hurt down there in the left field bleachers.
Just protecting everyone. So this will be the 100th pitch coming up. Here it is. And Snyder whiffs. 2-1 Cubs.
Tonight's guest conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, University of Illinois head football coach Ron Zook.
It's great to be. It's great to be at Wrigley Field. All right, Cubs fans, Illini fans, let me hear you. A one, a two, a three. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back in. Root for the
calling out of my network.
Call the manager.
On my network.
How about the maitre d'?
Not calling out of my network.
No, you got us into this mess.
No.
Worried about calling out of your network?
Okay, I'm stuck, but I'm still not calling out of my network.
I got your network right here. Really?
With T-Mobile, you get the most whenever minutes, so you can call who you want, when you want.
Great.
T-Mobile gives you the most whenever minutes, 1,000 for just $39.99.
T-Mobile. Get more minutes.
You know what really fries me? The way so many fast food places mess with chicken by deep frying it and slathering it in batter. That's why I love Subway restaurants. Imagine, prepared fresh with your choice of fresh veggies and toppings on freshly baked bread. Now that's how chicken should be. Subway, eat fresh.
He's aggressive, he's funny, he's a character. That's what we need.
In auto racing, a small advantage is a big advantage.
He's a bit of a crybaby, yeah.
Once the green flag drops, it's every man for himself.
This is racing. Anything can happen.
Strike one on Jose Macias, bottom 7. The Cubs clinging right now to a 2-1 lead. Diamondbacks at their first run in the top of this inning. Javier Vasquez still in there. Both starters still working at this point. And Ron Zook, the head football coach at Illinois, hired in December, 22nd head football coach in school history. And welcome to Wrigley Field, Coach.
Well, thank you. This is an unbelievable, awesome situation. I've not had the opportunity to come here, but this is really super.
You cannot beat the atmosphere here in the friendly confines.
Absolutely, and I mean it's just so much like a college atmosphere, and it's super. I mean it's all it's cracked up to be.
Former coach at Florida, former defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints, and your thoughts on the upcoming season, which is going to start pretty soon, September 9th.
Our first practice is next Friday, and obviously we got a lot of work to do, but it's exciting. The attitude of our football team has been unbelievable, and I'm excited to get started. They're excited to get started. It's a great opportunity. It's a great situation, and we got a great university. We really do. It's academically, athletically, and the whole bit. So it's really super, and obviously it's great that we're able to be close to Chicago.
Now, when you take over a program, how long does it really take you before you really feel like you know your club? Is it going to take an entire season before you really understand what each guy on this team is all about? As counsel will flip it over to Clark.
I don't know that there's a time limit, absolutely. But obviously it takes a little bit of time to get to know your people. In any relationship, you gotta, it takes time. But these guys have done everything we've asked them to do, and they're working extremely hard. And that's all you can ask right now. Is when people leave Memorial Stadium, we want them saying, "Man, these guys are having fun. They're laying it on the line," and that's all you can ask for.
Henry Blanco, a good day, a 2-run homer, an intentional walk. So he's 1 for 1. And promptly slaps that one into right center. Aggressive base running, makes a big turn. Green gets it back. It's a single for Henry.
Henry Blanco has been on fire since that number change. Went from number 9 to number 24. They've become a heck of a hitter. Stays on this pitch. Fastball up and out over the plate. Just drives it into the gap in right center field. And as you mentioned, a big turn at first base. If Green mishandles that ball at all, Henry's going to try to go to second base.
Bob Melvin came out briefly. Mark Pryor will dig in with 1 out and a man on. And like Bob Brenly, you played in the Mid-American Conference as well, but you played football for Miami of Ohio.
I was there, and it was a great opportunity for me, a great career for me, and I was fortunate enough to be able to play there 3 years and only lose 1 game. So I get a little distorted view of athletics, but it was a great opportunity for me.
Gloss charging, and the bunt is pushed toward first. Good idea for Pryor, because Gloss ended up about 10 feet away from home plate.
Yeah, you really have to bunt this ball to the right side of the field. Tony Clark has to hold on Henry Blanco over there at first. But Gloss has no responsibility on this play other than to charge the hitter, and he was right down Mark Pryor's throat on that bunt attempt, so Pryor tried to go to the first base side.
Blanco with a short lead at first. Pryor already showing bunt. Gloss charging again. And Vasquez will fire. They get the out, but the relay throw gets past Counsell. It hits the barrier right in front of the Diamondbacks dugout. So it'll be a fielder's choice for Pryor. 2 outs in the inning.
Boy, a risky play right there to go to second base. That was a pretty good bunt by Mark Pryor. He deadens it out there in front of home plate, but Vasquez with the quick trigger throw to Clayton at shortstop to get the lead runner, and then the relay throw to first is well over everybody. Well, I thought it looked like Clayton came off the bag with that left foot just as he was receiving that throw from Vasquez, and on the replay it looked even more like his foot came off the bag, but it's one of those neighborhood plays out there at second base, and they do get the lead runner. Take a look at Clayton's left foot. Very close to coming off the bag as he received that throw.
2 down, and it's Hairston at the plate. Coach, what's the biggest challenge?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is getting everybody on the same page and getting everybody believing that we can be just like our basketball program and all the other programs at the University of Illinois. And once again, it takes time. So, but that to me is the biggest challenge we have right now.
I was going to mention the basketball team and its success, and just kind of breeds energy and excitement around the athletic programs of Illinois, doesn't it?
No question, and obviously we all got caught up in it. I got caught up in it, and there's no reason. Coach Weber and his staff, they've done a great job. The players there, and there's no reason that our program can't be just like everyone else's. We were second in the Big Ten behind Wisconsin. Actually, we tied Wisconsin in the men's sports and total men's championships, and second in overall in the Big Ten in all sports. So, we just got to get our program where everybody else's is.
Len mentioned you guys open your season September 9th against Rutgers, and I know as a head coach every game's a big game, but are there games on the schedule that you're really looking forward to this year?
I really believe that we're in a situation where we take one game at a time, and that first game is Rutgers. Believe me, they're a much improved football team. They've done a great job over there, and they've kept a lot of talent from New Jersey right there. So we're going to have our hands full with Rutgers, and you take them one at a time and kind of go from there. I think these first 3 games will be imperative that we just continue to improve, and then as we get into the Big Ten schedule.
2 strikes on the Cubs leadoff hitter, Jerry Hairston, fouled away. What did your stint in the NFL do for you as a head coach, being the defensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints?
Well, I think number one, it made me real. There's nothing that's happened to me in terms that has overwhelmed me. There's so many things that go on in the NFL, and as I was telling some of the Cubs players before the game, I mean, these guys they make this game look easy, and it's not easy, and it's because they are so good, and the professional athletes are special, and so it's from that standpoint it was a really it was a great experience. I enjoyed working in the NFL, and I enjoyed college football, but I think a lot of times people misunderstand just how good these professional athletes are.
Counsell out, Green and Tracy, and it's Counsell to make the catch. Illinois football coach Ron Zook, best of luck this year, and great to have you here at Wrigley.
Thank you. It's a great opportunity, great honor. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. 2-1 Cubs.
Thank you.
Want to catch up with what's going on in Chicago? For $29.95, ChicagoTribune.com Subscriber Advantage gives you great access to Tribune archives, the latest on the Cubs, and more. Log on to ChicagoTribune.com/online offer for Chicago's news from Chicago's newspaper.
Wow. Big news. Sex in the City. 7 nights a week this fall.
Well, it's been a long day for Strahan. What a lovely shot! Yeah!
Hey, Strahan, maybe it's your deodorant. Let's start over. No, not that one. This time, start with Right Guard Gel. It's the strongest gel. Keeps you drier than even the leading stick, so it lasts till the end of the day.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Right Guard. Start right, and right.
Think about the mountains you want to climb in the BMW X5. The corners you want to take. The hairpin turns you plan to find. Because it would be very un-BMW-like to have you thinking about brake pads, rotors, and oil changes. The BMW X5, the only SAV in its class with a standard full maintenance program. Lease a BMW X5 3.0 for $429 a month until July 31st.
Cubs leading 2-1. Another tight one here at Wrigley. Come to Wrigley tomorrow, July 30th, as the Cubs take on the Diamondbacks on Lincoln Park and Evanston Athletic Club Day. Lucky seat winners will receive a 2-month membership to Lincoln Park or Evanston Athletic Club. Lincoln Park and Evanston Athletic Club, proud sponsors of the Cubs. Quentin McCracken will pinch hit for Vasquez. McCracken, a switch hitter. This is the 4th time on this homestand we've had a game at 2-1 going to the 8th inning. 113 pitches for Javier Vasquez. Man made the one mistake today, Bob. That was that long at bat against Henry Blanco. Blanco just kept battling. Finally got a good pitch to hit. And about the 6th or 7th 3-2 offering, and he deposited it in the left field seats near that foul pole.
I mean, we talk all the time offensively. Sometimes you just have to tip your cap to the opposing pitcher when he has a good day. Well, you really have to tip your cap to Henry Blanco. That was, as we said at the time, a good at bat that turned into a great at bat when he went deep finally.
Mark Pryor with 8 strikeouts already today. And here into the 8th inning. He went 8 innings 3 starts ago in a win against the Pirates here at home.
There's a future catcher if I ever saw one. Hat on backwards, game face working.
Pitch on the way outside. 3-2. 39,312. At Wrigley today. The pitch. Hit hard. Right off the glove. Just glanced the leather. And Nafee almost flagged it down. And McCracken with a leadoff single here in the 8th.
Ball hit hard by McCracken back toward the middle of the field, and Nafee with a dive able to just barely get a glove on it, knock it down into shallow left center field. Greg Counsell, the leadoff hitter for the Diamondbacks, coming to the plate, has put down 1 sack bunt this year. He's a very accomplished bunter, but also a very good handler of the bat. Guy that Bob Melvin likes to play hit and run with. McCracken with better than average speed over there at first base, has stolen 4 bases this year, but it's a combination Bob Melvin likes to get that runner on the move and then have Counsell try to find the hole in the infield.
Ball 1. Cubs getting some action going in their bullpen as we speak. Novoa and Ullman working quickly out there. Only foul right at the plate. 1-1. Diamondbacks manager Bob Melvin, former Mariners skipper.
We talked about it before here at Wrigley Field, especially from that visiting dugout. Sometimes you have to change your signs as a manager to your third base coach because the coach can't see you. especially if you stand down at ground level in that first base dugout. The third base coach can only see you from the letters up, so a lot of times you have to change your signs, everything from the chest up, so that third base coach can get the signs from the bench and then relay them on to the runner and the batter. You see Bob Melvin is a couple steps up out of the dugout right there, so Carlos Tosca, the third base coach, can get a better look at him.
Tosca, the former Blue Jays manager. McCracken running, Counsell with a base hit. First and second with no outs.
Well, there it was after showing bunt on the first couple pitches. Bob Melvin switches to the hit and run. Navy Perez, the shortstop, covering, and Counsell slashes the ball through the left side of the infield.
The entire infield, along with the pitching coach, is now on the pitcher's mound. While we have a moment, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN.
Get ready. Kiefer Sutherland in the critically acclaimed 24 is coming this fall to Superstation WGN. See it from the first minute.
Well, the Cubs with the lead, but by just a run. And the Diamondbacks not only have the first two men on, but they have Chad Tracy coming up, a guy who hit a home run yesterday. And he pushes a bunt toward Macias. Jose Fields goes to Walker. So that sets it up for Luis Gonzalez. First base is open. Second and third one out.
First sacrifice bunt of the season for Chad Tracy. Dumps it down that third baseline, forcing Macias to come in and make the play. Nobody home at third base, so McCracken can advance easily there, but they do get the out at first. Now they're going to walk Gonzalez intentionally to get Troy Glaus up there to the plate with a possibility of grounding into an inning-ending double play.
Second walk of the day issued by Pryor, but again, an intentional pass. Glaus has struck out, walked, and has hit into a 6-4-3 double play, and it wasn't hit that hard, but the Cubs were able to turn it.
Only the fourth double play that Troy Glaus has grounded into this year in over 350 at bats. Partially because he's more of a fly ball hitter. He doesn't really hit a lot of balls on the ground. He tries to lift the ball in the air to the outfield, so doesn't hit into as many double plays as you might anticipate. That double play from earlier in the ball game. Pryor shatters his bat. Slow hit ball to shortstop, but the Cubs are able to make a quick turn at second, and Walker's relay throw beats Glaus by a step at first.
Glaus has been bothered by some back spasms, also a strained tendon behind his left knee. I'm sure that's hampered his running a little bit. Had a bad night's sleep in the team's hotel in Milwaukee Sunday night, causing the back issues. Big swing and a miss, one strike. Of course, you want a double play. If you get it to 2 strikes, you start thinking a little bit about a strikeout as well. Pryor likes to work from the windup in this spot, not from the stretch. Here he comes. 2 strikes. Now the fans want to see his 9th strikeout. Base hit. McCracken will tie it. Counsell around third. Here's the throw by Merton, and it gets past Henry Blanco. Glaus able to go to second, and the Diamondbacks lead 3-2 on an 0-2 pitch. A 2-run single for Troy Glaus.
Mark Pryor makes a bad pitch right there, 0-2. We talked about Javier Vasquez's battle with Henry Blanco earlier in the game, and he just ran out of patience and fired one down the middle of the plate. I think maybe Mark Pryor's emotions got the best of him right there. Crowd was into it, ahead in the count, looking for the strikeout, and overthrew that pitch, left it right over the heart of the plate for Troy Glaus.
By the way, an error on Matt Merton, allowing the runners to move up. So the Cubs with 3 errors today. They now trail 3-2, and we'll be back.
For years, the Honda Odyssey has been considered the best vehicle in its class. So, what did we do? We went back to the drawing board and enhanced its safety features with side curtain airbags for all 3 rows. We made it more functional and quieter than ever before. Introducing the all-new Honda Odyssey. A great idea made better.
Start the day with a splash. Bring on the blue. Moving to the horizon. Splash. Bring on the blue. Now you're flying again. First on skin. Shine bright in our splash. Bring on the blue.
It just feels better with an Aqua Velva, man. Introducing Aqua Velva Ice Balm Aftershave. Alcohol-free, vitamin-infused. Skincare from A to V.
Hey, Bob here in sunny Italy. Inspiration for the light, fresh taste of Quiznos' new Chicken Milano Sub. It's the perfect summer taste with all white meat chicken, sun-dried tomato pesto, spring greens, and ripe tomatoes. All topped with a cool basil mayo and gourmet cheeses and toasted on rosemary Parmesan bread. Look at that thing. Oh, I wonder how you say in Italian, come to Papa.
The new Chicken Milano Sub, only at Quiznos.
Toasty.
Well, the Diamondbacks taking the lead. Troy Glaus on an 0-2 pitch with a 2-run single. It's 3-2.
And some more sloppy defense on the part of the Cubs. Matt Merton's throw to the plate got away from Henry Blanco, and Mark Pryor was not in a good position to back up the play, allowing Glaus to advance into scoring position himself at second base. And now you have to draw the infield in, a possibility for all kinds of problems here with a hitter like Tony Clark at the plate.
And runners at second and third for Arizona. A 1-1 count on Clark, batting right-handed against the southpaw Will Oman. Kick and the 1-1. A foul, 1-2. 3 errors for the Cubs today. The latest, the Matt Merton overthrow, allowing the runners to move up. Will Oman yesterday went 2/3 of an inning. And gave up a 2-run homer to Luis Gonzalez. Mark Pryor now finds his team trailing by a run. 7 1/3 innings today. 8 strikeouts, a couple of walks, and at this point 3 runs on 7 hits.
Look at Tony Clark's numbers as a switch hitter. Very equal from both sides of the plate. The only glaring difference is he strikes out a lot more from the left side of the plate than he does from the right side of the plate.
3-2 is popped up. Derek Lee appears to have plenty of room. And a big second out.
That is a big out right there. Tony Clark has come up with a lot of big base hits for the Diamondbacks. That was a slider down over the heart of the plate. Somehow manages to get the bat head under the ball and pop it harmlessly in the air to the right side.
So Ullman facing Green. Slider low and outside, ball 1. Sean Green with an RBI ground out in the 7th inning. So 0 for 3. Picked up his 54th RBI. Cubs find themselves down here in the 8th inning. Remember the 8th inning against the Giants. Even going back to that St. Louis series, they had a stretch of 4 straight games where they tied or took the lead in the 8th. Jose Valverde, pretty incredible the last couple of days. 8 strikeouts his last 2 appearances, including striking out the side in the 8th inning in game 1 of this series. Roberto Novoa loosening in the Cubs pen. These games are all big for the Cubs, but I think one of the other things you think about is you have Rich Hill starting tomorrow. It'll be just his 2nd major league start. You'd hate to go into that one losing 2 straight to start this series. Don't want to put too much extra pressure on the rookie. There will be another rookie on the hill, however, for Arizona, Michael Gosling.
Blanco continuing to play solid defense behind home plate. Only 1 passed ball all year long. That gives the pitcher so much confidence to execute the pitch he needs to throw. With a 2-strike count, you try to get Sean Green to chase a bad breaking ball, and Henry just smothered it back there.
The 3-2. 2nd and 3rd. And the Diamondbacks have already scored twice in the inning.
I mentioned earlier about bringing in your left-handed specialist to face the other team's tough lefty and just limit the damage. This is not the case right here. You've got to retire Sean Green.
Another 3-2 and the bases are full. Well, Novoa is ready, and Dusty Baker is going to go to the right-hander with Royce Clayton due up. Standing room only on the bases for the Diamondbacks. They lead 3-2.
This is the famous Budweiser beer. How do you make such a perfect taste? Start with only the finest all-natural ingredients. Blend them together in a traditional brewing process. Age it with beechwood chips for a distinct flavor. Do all of this, and you'll have the perfect beer with a taste, a smoothness, and a drinkability you'll find in no other beer at any price. This is Budweiser. This is beer.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Need a break from Chicago? Fly nonstop to all these cities on Southwest Airlines, the airline committed to serving Chicago.
You are now free to move about the country.
And I thought about somebody.
After you.
Rock, paper, scissors?
All right.
Whoa! Water makes the scissors rusty, and then they crumble and they break, and then paper scoops it up. What?
The new 12-ounce plastic bottle 8-pack from Pepsi, perfectly portable, fridge-friendly, car cup size convenience. Now that's refreshing.
Just keep it right here all weekend. 1 o'clock Central tomorrow. The encore presentation of this old Cub. D-backs Cubs 3 o'clock, and then Ryan Sandberg second to none at 6. And Sunday leadoff man starts at 1. Diamondbacks Cubs to follow. Well, they're full house today here at Wrigley. Right now the Cubs trail for the first time this afternoon. It's 3-2. Buses lined up. And Roberto Novoa. Ball 1 to Royce Clayton. The bases are loaded.
See Novoa's numbers on the season. Clayton hits 70 points higher against left-handed pitching. Thus the switch here by Dusty Baker. And Bob Melvin unwilling to take Clayton out of the game with a 1-run lead late. Clayton is his best defensive shortstop, and when you have a lead late in the ball game, you want your best defenders on the field. Wouldn't surprise me to see Chad Tracy come out of this ball game in right field now that the Diamondbacks have a lead. Send Luis Torrero out to center and move Sean Green back to right.
Big pitch, 2-1. Gonzalez, the runner at third. The big hit of the inning, Gloss with a 2-run single. He's now at second, and Green, another veteran, is at first. Two and two. Good comeback for Novoa. Using that fastball. Due up for the Cubs in the bottom of this inning, Perez, Lee, and Burnitz. Don't know for sure if Aramis Ramirez is available to pinch it. You would assume he would be at some point today. Tapped. Blanco out in a hurry. Good throw. Cat-like quickness from Henry Blanco. 3-2 now, Diamondbacks.
Chicago Cubs baseball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Non-stop service to 59 destinations all across the country. Southwest Airlines, a symbol of freedom.
Hello.
Hi.
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 Need a break from Chicago? Fly nonstop to all these cities on Southwest Airlines, the airline committed to serving Chicago.
You are now free to move about the country.
Well, now, where's the fire, boys? Oh, fresh toasted sandwiches. Well, get those babies home before they get cold.
Fresh toasted sandwiches from Subway restaurants.
I'm hungry. You hungry?
Sponsors of Greg Biffle and Car 16.
So you're not gonna talk? Then we're gonna talk.
Not my minutes, man.
Happy birthday, Nana. Dry cleaning, is that deductible?
Thank you for holding.
Peak hours.
Hang it up!
In a land far, far away. Hello? Department of Motor Vehicles.
Never enough minutes on your wireless plan? Come to T-Mobile and get the most whenever minutes.
More minutes. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Now get the most whenever minutes guaranteed. 1,000 for just $39.99.
T-Mobile. Get more minutes.
Gear up for Cubs D-backs Game 3. Saturday at 4 on Superstation WGN.
Arizona has rallied the last two innings and now has the lead 3-2. Sean Green does move from center to right. Quentin McCracken remains in the ball game to play center. And hard throwing right-hander Jose Valverde, who needed 11 pitches to strike out the side in his inning of work yesterday, and 8 of the last 9 outs he has recorded have been strikeouts.
Fastball in the upper 90s yesterday, came in the ball game, struck out Cedeno, Lee, and Ramirez in the 8th inning. Can be overpowering at times. Also has a split-fingered fastball, but didn't see any of those yesterday.
Javier Vasquez has a chance to get a win with his team getting those 2 runs at the top of this inning. 119 pitches today for Mark Pryor. He gave up 3 runs in 7 1/3. Pitch, Nafy taking all the way 1-1. I don't know about you, I love to see that, especially from a guy like Nafy. He knows the situation. Make that guy throw a strike. This team down a run. He's just trying to find a way to get on base. Bounced past the pitcher. Counsell charging, and Napey beat it out. Just a brief bobble by Counsell. Had a tough time making that throw, and it is a hit for Perez.
That's why you run them all out. We saw Napey Perez hustling back in the first inning when he grounded out a routine grounder to Counsell. This one not as routine, but Napey hustling down that first base line. Hopefully it's a rally started here for the Cubs. I mean, that's just great hustle. That's what you expect everybody to do out there in uniform.
So for the first time today, Derek Lee digs in with a runner on base. I mean, talk about the value of having just a guy on base with Derek Lee at the plate. It just changes the scope of how the opposition has to face him, because it's a one-run game. You can't just give him first base, work around him with nobody out. So he's going to get something to hit here in this at-bat.
We see Valverde pitching from the stretch here with the slide step protecting against Napey Perez over there at first base. His velocity's gone down from 95, 96 yesterday to 91, 92 so far today, pitching out of the stretch.
Burnett is next. And the 0-2 pitch is hit hard. Clayton will get it to Counsell, and a double play. You cannot hit it any harder than Derek Lee just did, but he hit it right at Royce Clayton.
Seeing the Diamondbacks use this shift on Derek Lee throughout the game today. Not as drastic a shift. You can see Clayton is almost at a straightaway shortstop position there. Counsell, you can see, is actually on the second base side of second base, but just a great defensive play on a hard hit ball.
Well, you mentioned it earlier that it's his defense. That's why he is in the game right now. And that was not an easy play. So nobody on base. And the Cubs look to Jeremy Burnett here with 2 outs. Or a lot of times the double play balls are the hardest hit ones. One on Burnett.
Many times they have to be. I mean, if you got good runners on base, unless the ball is hit hard right at somebody, it's going to be tough to turn to.
The pitch. 2-1. Well, a lot of teams put on a big shift against Jeremy Burnett. They pull that shortstop around behind second. Not the case here with the Diamondbacks, and of course you have a very hard throwing right-hander on the hill.
Now the pitcher on the mound sometimes will lessen the effect of the shift with the velocity that he has on his fastball, or cause you to shift even more if it's a guy that features a lot of change-ups, a lot of breaking balls, a lot of off-speed pitches that are even more likely to get hit to a batter's pull field. But in Valverde's case, he's a flamethrower. They figure that most hitters aren't going to pull him as drastically as they do a normal pitcher.
It's 3-2. Here he comes. He blew it right by him. Cubs get the leadoff single, but no runs to the ninth. 3-2 Arizona.
There's a situation, Mr. President.
There's a nuclear device under terrorist control.
Tell me where the bomb is!
Catch 24 this fall on Superstation WGN.
Gear up for Cubs D-backs Game 3. Saturday at 4 on Superstation WGN.
There it is. The one from Cars.com.
So do you take them everywhere?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I hired them for the day. Big moment, you know?
Find the right car for you. Cars.com.
Start the day with a splash. Bring on the blue. Moving to the horizon. Splash. Bring on the blue. Now you're flying again. First on skin. Shine splash. Bring on the blue.
It just feels better with an Aqua Velva, man. Introducing Aqua Velva Ice Balm Aftershave. Alcohol-free, vitamin-infused. Skincare from A to V.
I've tried Mother's, I've tried McGuire's. I could honestly say this is the best product I've used yet. I put it on and it was just like amazing. First time I've ever seen that much shine from a product. This is Turtle Wax? Really?
Turtle Wax Platinum Series Car Wax, the new standard in shine.
Buongiorno! Bob here, getting a little taste of sunny Italy. And now you can too with Quizno's new Chicken Milano Sub. It's a light, delicious taste with all white meat chicken, sun-dried tomato pesto, spring greens and tomatoes, and a cool basil mayo, all on rosemary Parmesan bread. It's not quite like riding around Milan with an Italian supermodel, but it's close.
The new Chicken Milano Sub, only at Quiznos.
Toasty.
Well, the Cubs trail 3-2. And we're in the 9th inning now. Roberto Novoa still on the hill. Out the final out of the 8th inning, and he'll face Chris Snyder, the catcher. Cubs got the first man on in the 8th inning, but then Derek Lee hit into a double play, followed by a Jeremy Burnett strikeout. And looking to the bottom of the 9th, Brian Bruni is the Diamondbacks closer. And just talking to some of the Diamondbacks people, they say that he has pitched better in tighter spots. He's been more comfortable in the 1-run lead as opposed to the 3-run lead or the non-save situation. Two and 2 on Snyder. The Diamondbacks have 50 wins. Last year won 51. They have 25 road wins. Last year had just 22. And right now just 2 out in the West. Hammered foul out in the bullpen. Carahia, Juan Lopez. That's Juan's son. Good idea wearing the mask. At the end of the bat, Novoa going over to cover first, but Lee is there and gets the flip from Walker. Let's pause for station ID.
This is America's home for sports all year round. Superstation WGN.
Always good to see that pitcher run over to first, even though he wasn't needed. You'd rather have that than if he is needed and he's nowhere in the vicinity.
Absolutely. There's no reason not to run over there on that play, and that glove hand to glove hand shovel play is almost becoming routine for second baseman. It used to be an oddity when you would see it on the highlight reels. Geez, he didn't even, he didn't even put his hand on the ball. He just shoveled it over there from his glove, and now you see one a game.
Kraken, as a pinch hitter, got that 8th inning started with a single. Later scored on a 2-run hit by Troy Gloss. Strikeout, 2 down here in the 9th. Make sure you check out our WGN Baseball blog, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. WGNTV.com/baseball blog. And fun time of the year, trade deadline coming up. You can make deals, of course, after Sunday, but players have to pass through waivers. And every fan of every team, particularly of the Cubs, I mean, they're going to come up with trade scenarios. I'm sure everybody Jim Hendry runs into on the street saying, hey, Jim, why don't you go out and get this guy or that guy? Or that guy. Blanco. We'll watch it drop. And that second row. Don't spill your beverage. All right. But he's okay.
You better hang on to that beverage. It's after last call here at Wrigley Field. They're not going to be able to replace it.
One and two on Counsell. A couple of hits for Counsell today. Counsell, a Notre Dame product. He was a switch hitter. He gave it up in his second year in college. Boy, Brett Butler got hit. It was a glancing blow, but it was a line shot right at the first base coach.
Well, not a lot of target to hit there. Brett Butler is not a very big guy, but fortunately a glancing blow. He looks to be okay.
And Counsell played left field in college, or was it an infield spot for him at Notre Dame? From Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. Scrappy player, 3-2. The pitch. And Butler plenty of time to make sure he was out of the way of that one.
A lot of guys called him Rudy for obvious reasons. Overachiever. Physically doesn't have a lot of the tools that you look for in a major league player, but just does everything right on the field.
Novoa again. This time he strikes him out. To the bottom of the ninth, the Cubs are down 3-2.
Now, here's a Sex and the City quickie. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, girls, see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Night.
Sex and the City all week long this fall.
Get on, get on. Get on, get on.
I know you do more brakes and mufflers than anyone, but do you really do shocks and struts too?
Yes.
Factory scheduled maintenance?
Yes.
Oil changes?
Yes.
Tire rotation?
Yes.
Belts and hoses?
Yes.
Headlights?
Yes.
Batteries?
Yes.
Back rubs?
Yes. I mean,
come to the best. Midas, America's leader in brakes. Pads or shoes for $39.95 plus installation. We always provide an estimate for installation and fully explain any additional work. For mechanics known for their work and their word.
Trust the Midas touch.
Mr. Fogel, no denying your body's changed over the years. Did you ingest anything that helped create your new physique?
yes. Usually a 6-inch turkey breast sub for lunch and a foot-long veggie delights for dinner.
What is this?
We're going to need more evidence.
Will and Grace are suing the toughest lawyer in town. He wants to settle out of court.
Offered me a job.
Yes! What?
Next, Will and Grace.
Tonight at 6:30 Eastern on Superstation WGN.
Cub fans, don't forget, if you missed seeing the broadcast premiere of this old Cub, Jeff Sano's outstanding documentary about his father Ron, it'll be presented again thanks to the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers. The encore broadcast tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Central before the Cubs host the Diamondbacks at 3 o'clock. Well, Ramos Ramirez out of the lineup today, but he does have the batting gloves on with the bat on his shoulder. Walker, Merton, Macias due up here in the ninth. Brian Bruni, the closer for Arizona.
We also saw Ronnie Cedeno grabbing a batting helmet behind Ramos Ramirez over there in the dugout. A ninth inning of a one-run game. It's all hands on deck. Everybody be ready to do something, whether it be pinch run, pinch hit. Even go up in the on-deck circle as a pump fake, although I don't think it would affect Bob Melvin at this point. With his closer in the game, he's not going to go to anybody else at this point.
Well, get Walker on. We mentioned Merton with his first career triple today. Still looking for his first home run.
Yeah, Bruni has held opposing first batters to a 182 average. However, he has walked 6 batters and hit 1 leading off an inning.
No, a strike. Boy, that's a big pitch. Instead of 3-1, it's 2-2.
Boy, fans will wonder why players get so upset about calls like this. That ball's off the plate from the moment it leaves Bruni's hand. That swings the count from 3-1 when you can really dig in and sit on a pitch to 2-2, where now you have to be more defensive.
And you have to forget about it too.
Quickly.
Very quickly. Mike Everett calling the balls and strikes today. Three and 2 on Walker. First 3 games of this homestand, all against the Giants, were 1-run decisions. The Cubs won 2 of them in walk-off fashion. If they're going to win today, they'll have to do it in the same way. And Walker gets the free pass. So not only did he forget about it, ended up taking 2 more bad pitches eventually. Now the tying run is on base with nobody out here in the ninth.
A pitch well off the plate from our Southwest.com plain view camera. And as we anticipated, a pinch runner at first base for Todd Walker.
It's Ronnie Cedeno. And he brings up the redhead. Matt Merton.
Well, in a season of first for Matt Merton, he hasn't put down a sacrifice bunt yet this year. I mean, the old baseball cliche is you play for the tie at home, play for the win on the road. If you play for the tie at home, you got to bunt Cedeno into scoring position.
Well, Cedeno is running as it's bunted by Merton. Bruni will throw him out. Sacrifice for Merton. Couple of chances here to tie it. Runner at second with 1 out.
I got to believe somebody missed a sign right there. Ronnie Cedeno running at the top of your screen, Merton bunting at the bottom of your screen. If Merton pops that ball up, it's a double play. One or the other had to miss a sign right there. You wouldn't think you would have Cedeno running on a sacrifice bunt attempt.
Here's Macias. Jose 1 for 3. Henry Blanco's had a good day at the plate. Occasionally seen Dusty Baker pinch hit for Blanco. 0-1. Low. Henry has hit a 2-run homer, has been intentionally walked in his single. Well, depending on the situation, we'll see what Dusty Baker has in mind after Macias. First things first, it's 1-1. As you said, all hands on deck. Everybody has their batting gloves on in the dugout.
And once again, just to review, Luis Gonzalez in left field, you can run on every opportunity you get. Quentin McCracken in center field, you can run on. Sean Green in right with a strong, accurate arm.
Good eye. 3-1. First guy to get his batting helmet on is first in line, and it's Ramirez. First and second. 2 walks in the inning. Blanco being called back. And Michael Barrett's going to hit. Bob Melvin called the third baseman Troy Gloss to the mound, along with the battery. And a great afternoon for Henry Blanco. 2-run homer, again 2 for 2 with an intentional walk.
Michael Barrett has had 2 at-bats in his career against Brian Bruni. 1 for 2. The one hit was a home run. A 3-run homer.
And now Ramirez right behind him on deck. Cubs trying to come back late again on this homestand. They did it against the Giants throughout that series. One ball, no strikes on Barrett. Cedeno at second. Macias at first. Both teams have played a lot of one-run games this year. Cubs have been in 30. Diamondbacks in 34. Base hit left field. Cedeno will be set. And Gonzalez's throw will be cut off by Gloss. Tie game. Michael Barrett ties it up.
Michael Barrett makes this the right move with a line drive single through that left side. No hesitation on the part of Chris Spire to send Cedeno on home. The throw barely gets back into the cutoff man. The tying run scores easily.
They're on their feet. Ramirez pinch hitting. Snyder with a big block. Well, now the Cubs will try to win it. Still first and second. Barrett with a huge game-tying RBI.
We got to give credit where credit's due. That's a nice stop by Chris Snyder right there to keep that go-ahead run at second base.
pitch. That missed. 2-0 on Ramirez. Going into this inning, Cubs 2-44 when trailing into the ninth. Well, they tied it. Trying to complete the comeback. Down 2-1. Give credit to the Cubs' patience here in this inning, because 2 huge walks to set it up for Barrett. And Ramirez bounces that one. Pass loss! And the Cubs are going to try to win it. Macias save! And the Cubs win! They walk off with their 3rd win on the homestand. Oh, baby. Barrett and Ramirez coming off the bench. "4-3 the final." Three come from behind wins for the Cubs here on this homestand.
Well, Ramirez with a top spin ground ball. The pitch was down. He chops it through that hole in the left side. Gloss just can't get there to knock the ball down. Once it got through the infield, the combination of slow grass and short arm on the part of Luis Gonzalez guaranteed that the Cubs are going to get a comeback victory here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
And we are now joined by the guy who had the walk-off RBI hit, Aramis Ramirez. Short day's work, Aramis, but you came up with a big hit. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah.